Hello? Hello? Testing? That should work now. Hopefully. Hello, hello. Hold on, my gain's too high. Hello, 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 hello. Good. There we go. Let's see what I missed. Fraggled Rock, thanks for 18 months. That's a second sub baby. This sub baby's name is going to be Gregory Frog Pants. Gregory Frog Pants. Jake, thank you for rating. Hope you're having a good day. And hope you had a good stream. Make sure you go. I don't even necessarily feel the need to shout out Jake. I'm sure if you follow me, you follow Jake. But if you don't, check out actual Jake here on Twitch. Based Corn Man. And one of my... No, he's my best friend. So... I always try and... Here, you know what's a weird thing? Jake and I have been friends longer than almost any other friends he's ever had. And we've done stuff. But, like, I always feel weird calling him my best friend because I'm afraid he thinks if I say Jake's my best friend, I'm afraid he'll go, "You're my best friend? I don't think so." I have self-esteem issues. I'd say I'm one of Jake's closest friends. That's what matters. What else did I miss? We're on a hype train, 50% to level 1. Puka, thanks for 200 bits. Steve, thanks for 100. What else? What else? Hold on. No, that's correct. Okay. Feels like I'm coming in really loud for some reason. Mr. Whiskers, thanks for 50 bits. If you're not normally here for Tinfoil Tuesday, we do Tinfoil Tuesday Bingo, which is fun. If we get to level 5 of the hype train, very similar to Jake's corn suit, I will don my tinfoil armor. So that'll be good. So get us to level 5 of the hype train, and we're gonna do tinfoil bingo, so get your bingo cards ready. 1 card per person, please. Hydrate. To be fair, that's a very Jakeian response. That's true. Choking Ouroboros, thanks for gifting a sub. Bumble Homestead, thanks for 200 bits. Broha, thanks for 13 months. Chromatic Cuttlefish with 200 bits says, "It's cold and foggy on Wednesday morning. Time for some toasty tinfoil." Is it Wednesday for you already? Jesus. You're in the future. And by that I mean probably Australia. Epiphany Jane with 200 bits. Meek with 45 says, also the Twitter trial isn't looking good for Musk. I hope not. Fuck Elon Musk. Dan Anonymously, thanks for 4 months, says, "Hello, how you doing? Why do I have an accordion? Why don't you, Sarah? Queer Goblin Lass, thanks for 26 months. It stops when the train gets to level 5, chat. Hint. Rachology with 100 bits says, "Yay for Hannah. Over here in the UK, things are pretty normal as usual. Thank God we have many smart people who tell us that repeatedly it could never happen here. As you look at this, it's important to know that Conservatives recently gutted the independent body that used to make sure our elections were fair. Boris Johnson says the deep state will try to take Britain back into EU. Gross. What a piece of shit." Carnivorous Stickbug, thanks for 300 bits. Overthought says, "Accordion hour when? Hopefully never." Elminato says, "Hannah next class being a bard confirmed." Oh yeah, if you don't think this or something like this is going to be used for a bard character in the future, it's going to be bad. Woohoo Lulu, thanks for gifting 2 tier 1 subs. What's Danzi? Oh, does Sarah need to learn about Danzi? Okie Dad says, "Can you make my bits negative so we get more polka?" Bittergrin says, "Fine. Extort bits from me under that threat of sonic violence." You're welcome. Steve of the Q says, Accordion only streams reward for 999,999 points. Sarah, we're going to teach you about Danzi. You're welcome. Danzi is the greatest musical artist of our generation. And frankly, you should respect this, okay?
This is the 6th Trump cover song that Danzi Sings Big Singing Channel presents, Wrecking Ball. Please share, like, and subscribe to support Trump. Thank you. They cheat, they lie, our hearts ache. We were tricked, never asking why. We fight, we
Overthought with 50 bits says thank you.
Trap, a scheme no one could deny. Don't you ever say they can walk away. We will
always want Trump.
We
Can't live a life running for our lives. We will always want Trump. We came in like a wrecking ball!
He never hit so hard in the swamp. All I wanted was to come meet the most. All they ever did was trick us. Yeah, they tricked us. We put integrity high up in the sky, and now it's coming down. They slowly turn it, let us down.
For the record, this is Sarah's fault, so if you want to blame anyone, today it's not on me. Today it's on Sarah.
And now it's crushed to the ground.
Hold on, I gotta get to some of these bits messages. Overthought says thank you. And Chromatic Cuttlefish says I'm having flashbacks to the subathon Danzi hour. What a glorious hour that was. You can deny responsibility, Sarah. It doesn't mean it's not yours. Being a bottom doesn't make it so nothing's your fault. Believe me, I know. I've tried that excuse. Views, thanks for 5 months. Moira Soma, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Aries Corinthier says, this is bottom on bottom violence, the best kind. Aries Corinthier says, having watched Jake for a while, he would certainly say you're BFF. Sorry for the delay, but I had to find a credit card. That's good. I'm always very self-conscious. Don't talk about what I said earlier now, because Sarah's here. And that's, I talk about Sarah and Jake sometimes like they're not, like I'm not on an openly public website that they can look at me on. It's very weird. So forget all things I've said about them on stream. Bittergrin with 100 bits says, no accordion accompaniment? No. Nope. Thanks for 5 months of Prime. And Choking Ouroboros says, hi Hannah, I wrote a short RPG supplement inspired by Ancient Aliens conspiracy stuff. Can I drop a link in chat? Go for it. Alright, we're caught up. 78% to level 5. Get us to level 5 for Danzi. I'm not saying that literally. I'm not saying we'll watch more Danzi if you get to level 5. Don't complain at me if that's what you took from that. That's not what I meant. Bardlock Moses, thanks for gifting a sub.
Don't you ever say they can walk away. We will always want Trump. We can live a life running for our lives. We will always want Trump. He came in like a wrecking ball. He never hit so hard in the swamp. All we wanted was to come meet the most. All they ever did was trick us. He came in like a wrecking ball. Yeah, they just block windows and cheat. That observers away 60 feet. All they ever did was trick us. Yeah, they tricked us. We never meant to start a war. We just want to cut legal moves. And instead of plucking ears, they should have let observe.
I said this stopped when we hit level 5. I said nothing about Danzi. If anything, this stopped earlier because of Danzi. You're welcome. Bardlock Moses, thanks for gifting a sub. Downhill Ways, thanks for gifting a sub. Bellstar says, I heard level 5 Danzi with 300 bits. You're on your car stereo and your family's subjected to this? Are there any minors in this car? I think this is irresponsible if there are minors. I don't think kids are allowed to listen to Danzi. It'll damage their brains like drinking heavily.
We just want to come legal mode. They should have let observers in. Don't you ever say they can't walk away. We will always run. He came in like a wrecking ball. In the heart is love. All we wanted was to come legal mode. All they ever did was trick her.
Again, I talked about this yesterday. I don't know why I feel the need to annoy every single every person in my audience to the point where they no longer want to watch me. This is my job. I should want an audience to watch me. God damn, 140% to level 5. Thanks, everyone. Doodlido X. Thanks for continuing your gift sub. Lily Love Stuff says, yes, Danzi and the Accordion. This is good. I'm gonna wind up with an audience of all masochists. That's not fun. You need some sadists in there. Rageology says, now we need for true audio beauty is for someone to isolate Danzi's voice so Hannah can provide the sole accompaniment on the accordion. That'd be beautiful. Lily Love Stuff says, I'm enjoying this, please continue. Nails the Tapaxi says, what in the blue fuck did I just walk in on?
He came in like a wrecking ball. Yeah, they just block windows and cheat. That observers away 60 feet. All they ever did was trick us. Yeah, they tricked us. Yeah, they tricked us. Thank you.
Alright, well, let's get into the conspiracies now, I guess. Thanks, everyone. Let me get the conspiracy tinfoil stuff on, since we got to level 5. And then we'll get into it. Make sure you have your bingo cards ready if you're interested. First person to win bingo gets a gift sub, courtesy of myself, either for themselves or whoever they want me to gift it to. MH Darkbeast says, Viva La Hannah, got something special for you. Not only did they steal the title format, but it's utterly trash. Cut in 2 parts, don't worry, I never play bingo. Gotcha. Oh no. Fucking hell. That sounds terrible.
A vaccine is literally the only...
I'll probably have to report this. Anyway, let me get my tinfoil stuff. What am I going to play in the background real quick? Let's do this. Well, I don my stuff. You've had enough audio torture, I think, today. Rageology says, I have to live with myself, so my ability to tolerate annoying company is boundless. Beautiful. If you genuinely like Danzi, you might want to get a CAT scan. Where are my horns? Found him. Okay. This edition of Tinfoil Tuesday is officially in session. All rise. First name Bunch Numbers says, the accordion is terrible because it's obvious you don't really know how to play it, but I think you should learn how to play it for realsies because then it would be a legitimately funny bit. Yeah, I'm sure there's YouTube videos out there. Rachology says, like Danzi? No. Admire? Yes. She is a queen. She is a queen. Alright, let's get into it. Whew, my hair is frizzy today. Can you tell it's humid as fuck here? Yeah, we'll deal with the crazy hair. It's Tinfoil Tuesday. It's thematically appropriate. Okay? I'm intending to look crazy. Lily Love Stuff says, Danzi is my favorite kind of camp, just unaware of how she sounds. In 2005, Belarus sent Angelica Augerbash to Eurovision with the song Love Me Tonight. She didn't hit a single note in tune and had 3 costume changes. Truly a glorious performance, and she is anti-Lukashenko, a true queen. A link for those who are curious, but it's copyrighted. Thank you. Oh, I'm gonna fucking melt. You have no idea. After this stream, probably gonna go downstairs and be in the air conditioning with no pants on. That sounds glorious. Bra and underpants day, everyone. Alright. You can start first, since you're not on camera. All of you. Especially those not wearing bras, particularly the men. Go buy one. Hydrate. We do have AC. We do. Rompers. I got this romper recently. I haven't gotten a chance to wear it yet. Maybe I'll wear it at D&D Thursday, because I don't get many chances to, like, go out a ton. But it's very cute. So. Battle-ready armor. I've also seen Codename Kids Next Door. Alright, who we doing first? How about this? We'll start with Hans. Why not? Hans WormHat, one of our favorite conspiracy theorists, famous for not believing that penguins, gorillas, chimpanzees, bonobos, zebras, giraffes, he doesn't think any of these animals exist. Toucans are on that list. It's a long list. Koalas, sloths, yes. There's a whole list of animals he thinks are not real, but today we're not talking about animals. Today we're talking about his concern about CERN. If you don't know what CERN is, it is where the Large Hadron Collider is, the largest particle accelerator in the world. Conspiracy theorists have a pet interest in CERN because their understanding of all science comes from movies, so they think that CERN is going to accidentally open a portal to another dimension. Some people think this other dimension is hell, because they've played Doom too many times. So, let's go ahead and take a listen to Hans's, I guess, concern over CERN.
So, what is CERN? I mean, who cares? And, I mean, that's...
I think a lot of particle physicists probably care, considering it's, again, the largest particle accelerator on the planet.
The main point is that it doesn't even matter, and that nobody really knows for sure. For all we know, it could just be like a Disneyland prop. Like, it might not even do anything. You might not even be able to turn it on. And maybe it does. Maybe it does do some scientific type experiments. I mean, I believe that...
The world must be an enchanting place when you genuinely have no grasp on what's real or not. Everything is like, ooh, is this a psyop? It's like a fun game that'll drive you crazy until you shoot up a mall. Tucker White says, this is literally the plot of Steins Gate, an overrated anime. So, an anime.
People do experiments. I think that they're more similar to, say, like, alchemists of old. Basically, a lot of modern science is just like trying random things and seeing what happens. And it's just all this game where no matter what happens, you being a part of academia, being a
Academia?
part of the
Aries Corinther says, what is CERN? Who cares? Proceeds to spend 20 minutes talking about how CERN is a threat to the planet.
system. It dictates the way that you get to talk about it. That's like, I believe that chemistry is like a real thing. I believe that...
Imagine saying the sentence out loud, I believe chemistry's a real thing. I'm glad, for the record, I'm glad Hans believes in chemistry, but the fact that he frames the fact that chemistry is a thing as a belief in the first place belies a tenuous grasp on reality on a good day.
At some point, genetics is a real thing. I just think that the
Only at some point, though.
sandbox that they allow...
We can have a little bit of genetics as a treat.
the
Tucker White says, question, is the Large Hadron Collider a technical? I feel like it's a reference I don't get.
academics to play in is just always wrong, and it's always built in such a way to push a certain agenda. Just like biology, it's so infuriating how obvious this is in biology. You can't research anything when it comes to biology without hearing so much bullshit about 300 years ago, or 300 million years ago, like, and so that's the incorrect paradigm that you're forced to play along with if you're gonna do.
Can you believe that when you research a thing, it'll talk about the truth, but I don't like that truth, so it's an agenda. KF Logan, thanks for the raid. Go check out KF Logan. You're on Twitch. Anarcho Catboyism says he's still doing better than the creationists and tankies who believe in Lysenkoism that reject genetics completely. Oh, that shit's crazy. We gotta cover that someday. I've seen the Lysenkoism stuff.
Do anything.
For those who don't know, that was a scientist in the Soviet Union that was put forward to try and discredit evolution by saying that animals don't compete, right? They all work together. Basically, they were trying to project a socialist or communist ideal onto nature in a way that it doesn't exist. And you guys know me, I'm a super lefty, but I also recognize that the way I think our political system should run is not the same thing as how evolution works.
Biology related. Oh, how come you didn't talk about the evolutionary? Everything has to be about evolution these days, and you can tell that it's...
I mean, in biology, evolution is like a founding block of our modern understanding of biology. All of our observations show that evolution is true. So, like, if you want it to not be true, then you need to do tests that show it's not true. Those tests don't exist, though, if they're done fairly, most likely, because, again, it's been shown to be true as far as we know to this day.
It's taken as an assumption, and that it gets shoehorned into everything. That thing, they'll always talk about, like, you go try to watch any YouTube video about any animal, and some bonehead will start the video 400 million years ago in the whatever era, and that's how science, modern science and academia works. So
I genuinely think, first of all, doesn't understand how science works on the bingo card. I get the impression that Hans doesn't understand the actual research that goes on, like, behind the scenes of that claim and just thinks they're pulling numbers out of their ass for no reason. Carney, with 100 bits, says, question, does he believe in genetics because he wants to think he is superior? Possibly. He also uses, quote, genetics arguments. I use air quotes because he doesn't understand genetics. To be clear, I don't either. I am, however, dating someone who's a PhD candidate, not even dating, engaged to someone who's a PhD candidate in developmental genetics. So she understands it and knows that Hans is full of shit. But anyway, Hans uses his understanding of genetics, all the air quotes, in order to do transvestigations. Basically, he's like, this person's hips are too wide, therefore they must secretly be a woman. Or the converse. Converse? Converse. Converse or shoes? What word am I thinking of? Or the reverse. Chromatic Cuttlefish says, have you heard about the world's largest physics experiment? Proceeds to whinge about biology at length. And a hydrate.
at the end of the day, even if they are doing something legitimate, they're gonna be talking about it in a nonsensical way that doesn't actually match reality. I have so many slides to get through, but I feel like I just did a good overall ramble of what do I personally think CERN is. I think it really is just like a prop, like a Hollywood set, like a sci-fi set. Maybe they try to do experiments there, I don't know, but it's probably just...
I like the thought that how would that work? We're gonna build a big fake thing, but also, like, do we want to maybe do some experiments there? I don't know. Yeah, sure. We built the set. Why not? Stephen the Q says, Converse works, and yes, it's pronounced like the shoes. Okay. I'm not crazy. Good. I got some sweet Converse shoes for the wedding, guys. I'm super excited. They're very cute. Hold on. Let me show you guys. I'll show you guys the shoes I'm wearing for the wedding. Let me pull them up on Etsy real quick. Sorry for the brief aside. I just want to show you guys. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-da. Oh god, is that under my old email? Ew. I haven't had to log into my Etsy account in a while. I'm having trouble typing, sorry. There we go. Let me pull up these shoes. Alright, cool. Yeah! I'm wearing these at the wedding. Bittergrin says, so we accidentally built a functional particle accelerator as a prop for our conspiracy. Any of you scientists want to fire it up and do some science? Yeah, I thought those were cute. The theme of the wedding is, like, spacey, cosmic stuff. Not gay enough. You're not gay enough!
A bunch of bullshit. And to me, it seems like a lot of times, it just reminds me exactly of a movie. What's different between CERN and a movie? Where
one is real, and one is not.
they have some high-tech equipment in a movie, and you look at the screens on a movie, and they put a bunch of graphs and stuff. It's probably...
Guys, hold on. I completely agree with him here, okay? Hans WormHat has never been wrong in his life. For instance, I've often thought the hit film Mac and Me from 1988 has a scene filmed in a McDonald's where they do a dance number. And I thought to myself, what's really the difference between a real-life McDonald's and this set from the movie Mac and Me? And that got me thinking, maybe every McDonald's is fake. Sure, maybe they do a little bit of cooking hamburgers in there because they already built the set, so why not? But all I'm saying is, you see it in a movie, maybe every version of it is fake, okay? Where did Hans go? God damn it. There he is.
Probably a graphical designer who came up with the Higgs boson.
Okie Dad says, damn it, science with all their secret charts and graphs, shakes fist at clouds. Tucker White says the McDonald's of the 80s looked aesthetically better than McDonald's today. I don't know if I agree with that, but alright. Altered 23... Oh no, this is another one of those fucking trolls, isn't it? Fuck off. You were here the other day, I think.
So, whatever.
Will my brick be at the wedding? Nah. Rageology says, my ultimate and hottest of takes is that Mac and Me is better than E.T. It's okay to be wrong. I still respect you very much as a person. It's just less than it was prior to you typing that. Alright. Here's another ban for that fucker. What a loser. Ugh. There we go. Cool.
I guess it's been in the new... They turned it on again. So here's like a thing. You can tell that it's just a media sensation. If this really was this, like, super high-tech piece of scientific machinery, they wouldn't turn it on once every 3 years and just abandon it. It's just like...
They're not abandoning it, you idiot! They're taking the data that they did. Like, particle accelerators get so much data that it takes years to parse through it all and learn what they need to learn from the data that they get. Not only that, but it's an incredibly precise piece of equipment. You're literally smashing particles against each other, which I don't know if you know this about particles, they're incredibly small. The fact that they have these things that are like this giant miles and miles long whatever device that lets these things speed up and collide into each other is amazing, and it takes time to adjust it. Depending on the experiments they're doing, they have to change the machine. Like, it's not a microwave. It's one of the most expensive and complicated pieces of scientific equipment in the world. It's not something you can just have on all the time without, you know, adjusting and fixing it.
This.
Chromatic Cuttlefish says, JFC, you turn it on and leave it running for months at a time.
It's a character. It really is. It's a character on the world stage, CERN. And they love, I mean, they're probably the ones that come out with the stories. Oh gosh, is CERN gonna burn a black hole or turn a black hole into... It really is just...
No, that's your fellow conspiracy weirdos.
Just a character that is playing a part on the world stage of scary, mysterious, sci-fi something. Because if it was a real thing, they'd be continuously doing tests with it. If they had this really cool place to run experiments, scientists would be booking it out constantly, and they would constantly be using it to perform experiments. They wouldn't shut it down for 3 years and bring it back. It's just a media story, how these things just...
Sorry, Tucker. Tucker said, stop banning my burner accounts, Hannah. And Overthought says, can't wait for the Pixar movie. What if particle accelerators had feelings? That feels more like a short before a movie.
Disappear for a while? Oh, we haven't talked about CERN for a while. Let's do a story on that. So there, I mean, obvious things, gematria things. As Run 3 begins, CERN announces discovery of 3 new exotic particles. Yes, it is that stupid. Orange and 33. It really is that dumb. Holding your hands in certain ways, saying specific buzzwords, ma 33, ma orange. It is that stupid.
Freemasons on the bingo card.
That's probably why...
Orange and 33 are things he thinks are Freemason.
That's probably why it's 3 particles on Run 3. Literally, so that they can just hit that number 33 and chuckle to themselves. So it's stuff like this that just hints...
I admire the fact that these people think that, like, for the Freemasons, the 33 and orange meme have been funny for literally hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years as their secret society. Whereas if I browse Reddit and the same memes are popular for a week, I get fucking sick of it and cringe. I'm just saying, I feel like they would have outgrown the same meme after a few thousand years as a secret society.
It's all a bunch of bullshit. If it wasn't bullshit, why would they continually keep hitting the same numbers and be obsessed with orange and hand signs? We'll get to that later.
They aren't! You are! Okie Dad says, or Hans, and hear me out, maybe it's because 3 comes, stay with me, 3 comes after 2. Which I think I'm hearing from our panel, that is correct. That is correct math. So, confirmed.
There's just... I mean, there really weren't that many hand signs.
Numerology is evidence, yes.
Mostly, what's been going on with CERN is another phenomenon that these people like to do, which is just, they like to throw award ceremonies for themselves, and they like to clap them for themselves for nothing. Israel... I included this because of Israel. I thought that was pretty funny. And 23 is like a... If you're
thinly veiled anti-Semitism on the bingo card, I think. That was very out of nowhere.
Well-versed on gematria. You notice a lot of things like 32 and 23 coming up a lot too. Some people say it's because 2 3s is 33. It's like a way of saying 33 without saying 33. 2 3.
All numbers are 33 when it comes right down to it. Maps of Mimic says, I don't know about the 3 after 2 thing. Terence Howard might have something to say about that. Oh my god, guys. I have to show you. Terence Howard is scamming people in Africa now with his new math.
2 3s is 33. Anyways, I just thought this was funny that Israel is the exception. People have talked about it so much, how the CERN is a not even hidden 666. Yeah, and I agree. It has a lot of repeated 6 ideas in the logo.
It's literally a depiction of the Large Hadron Collider, I think. It's a big thing like that. Okay. Okie Dad says, as crazy as guys like Hans go for 33, they'd lose their shit if they read the Hitchhiker's Guide.
Logo, which is pretty typical.
That's fine. That's 9 more. 42 is fine.
Of these people hiding the symbolism in plain sight. Rabinovici. Why did I do this? This guy. Anyways.
You thought he got better? He does this sometimes. He'll stop making conspiracy videos for months at a time and be like, I'm over the conspiracy videos. And then he'll go make, like, Bible study videos. And then inevitably, because he's crazy and obsessed with this stuff, he'll start making conspiracy videos again. It's cyclical. It's a little bit like the Egyptian belief in Mot. The ancient Egyptian Mot. No matter how many times the Nile recedes, one day it will return with new videos about how common animals aren't real. Did I see someone bombed the Georgia Guidestones? I did. I did see that. There was also a meme going around about them finding a bunch of drugs under it. If you saw that, it isn't true. Multiple people sent me the link to the fake article about, oh my god, did you see they found a bunch of Quaaludes under the Georgia Guidestones? Guys, why am I doing this show if I'm not teaching you to do the minimum amount of Googling before you believe something? How many times have people sent me something that I took 5 seconds to fact check and be like, that's not true? So I'm just saying, if you learn anything from this show, fact check, especially before you send something to me, because I'm gonna fact check it, and I don't want you. I don't know. Just look into things before you send them to me, please. Screaming at the Radio says, I visited CERN. I've been inside the tunnels and detectors. I can testify it's real. Also, yes, does open a hellmouth. Sweet! Is Sarah Michelle Gellar busy? Can she get over there if the hellmouth opens? Dr. White says, besides, Georgia's too square to have drugs under the Guidestones. And Okie Dad says, fact-checking is just responsible sciencing.
I feel like I've already had something to do with the World Wide Web. Lock Spicer. Doing the devil horns. That's why I picked this one.
He literally just has his finger out.
Too. They show a watch. So, sure, I think that they really do experiments. I do believe in science, but just, I think that modern science is all a lie, and that people seriously think that peer review is like the pinnacle of truth, which I find hilarious.
We already had doesn't understand how science works, but in case you didn't mark it off, definitely mark it off.
A part of academia, and it
just get Faith to take care of the Hellmouth. We're literally on the part of... I've never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer until now. Baha and I are in the middle. The last show we watched was Deep Space Nine, because she hadn't seen that, but I had. Now we're watching Buffy, because she had seen it, and I hadn't. And we're on the Faith thing right now, after she does the thing she does. So it's interesting.
It really is a Emperor Has No Clothes situation. And imposter syndrome is rampant
it's too bad Joss Whedon's a piece of shit, because it's a fun show.
Because they are really phonies, and it's just a bunch of people patting each other on the back and there really is oftentimes no substance there. And if there is substance, they have to talk about it in a way that isn't fully correct. So, how do you know that this actually does anything? If you've never been there, I guess here I'll just...
Conspiracy theorists fundamentally don't understand the idea of specialization within society. It seems that they don't trust... How do I put this? I don't necessarily know how to make cheese, for instance, right? I love cheese, but I don't know how to make cheese. But there are people out there who spend their entire lives dedicated to the craft of understanding how to produce cheeses. For instance, my favorite kinds of cheese are Parmesan, Reggiano, and Asiago. These are produced in very specific regions of the world, right? Using specific techniques. Now, I don't believe these techniques don't exist just because I don't understand them. I see the final product, the cheese. Now, in things like the LHC, the final product is a bit more esoteric, but what we're talking about here is a general trust in the institution of science. Now, I'm not saying you need to trust every individual scientist or every individual claim that's made, but what I am saying is that the system is set up in such a way that eventually we get products from these things, like theoretical physics research eventually down the line turns into applicable products, right? Or things we understand about the universe that let us create things. We've seen this for hundreds of years. Science discovers a thing, people figure out what to do with that thing, eventually it makes its way into tools and inventions and products people use on a daily basis. We saw this with radio and television, with computers and everything, like it's a wonderful, awesome thing, and all that began in theoretical research, right? A lot of it publicly funded, too. This idea that if you don't understand a thing, it doesn't exist is a huge problem that has to do with institutional mistrust. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a reason for a lot of institutional distrust these days, especially when we're talking about things like the government, when we see the government continually not doing anything to help working class people and people in general and constantly doing things openly corruptly. But we're not talking about politics here. We're talking about literal scientists, PhDs who took years and years and years, put tons of money and time into researching something, presumably because they found that topic very, very interesting. You don't get into particle physics because you want to get rich. You get into particle physics because you're just a big nerd about particle physics, and that's awesome. So the idea that there's this big cabal of scientists lying to you is just stupid. Tucker White says, why are conspiracists always the most uncharismatic and boring-ass fucks ever? I don't want to say what I want to say there. Too mean. DJ Shea says, Hannah, have you tried the illegal Sardinian cheese? Is that the maggot cheese? Because no, and I would never eat the maggot cheese. Charlie Dompler says, Hannah's spirit animal when she starts ranting about cheese. Oh shit, I mentioned cheese on the bingo card.
I just wanted my cheese.
Alright. Interesting.
The main point of this is, I think that things like CERN are major distractions, and it just doesn't matter.
These things are major distractions. That's why I, Hans WormHat, spent 22 minutes talking about it on my channel when I could have talked about literally anything else.
This is not something that any of us have any...
I didn't see the new Thor movie yet. At this point, I might just wait for it to come on Disney+. Or the internet at large, if you know what I mean. Whichever is first.
And it's also not anything that anybody can touch. I can't go there and perform an experiment at CERN. And this goes to all...
No, because you don't have the expertise. I also can't go make cheese. That doesn't mean cheese isn't real. MH Darkbeast says, he, the craft of making cheese. Nice one, Hannah.
Sorts of things like radiocarbon... Why can't I go and check out a radiocarbon dating machine and use it? And
you wouldn't understand how, but you can if you go to school and learn how to do it, but you as a layperson wouldn't know how. Like... Scientists have enough shit going on doing their research. They don't have time to bring in every fucking idiot conspiracy theorist who doesn't believe in penguins to explain to them how things work. Without a fundamental baseline understanding of the concepts that they're using, you're still gonna call it fake. You would literally need to go to school to understand it, Hans. And no offense, but I get the impression that you didn't do very well in school. So I don't think secondary education is the path for you.
And these things are elitist. It's, if there's anything that is super elitist, you can just immediately reject it because you can't trust it. Science should be reproducible by anyone. And
literally, that's just not how life works. Like, a lot of science these days requires incredibly expensive equipment that you just do not have access to. Collective work is how we get things done as a species. You as an individual do not have the power of the combined work of thousands and thousands of people around the world and the people giving them grant money. It's just not possible. It would be like saying computers don't exist unless I can build one in my own home from scratch. Like, sure, you could buy components and pop them in a case you bought or even made, but no one person knows how to take raw materials, turn them into metals and plastics and everything, form them into machines and create a computer. No one person can do that, but computers still exist. There are things humans can only do if they all work together or with many working together. It's called society, Hans. You live in it. Morak says, I saw the new Thor with my partner. It was very silly. Sillier than most Marvel films, but they had a straight kiss in it, and I can't believe Disney is trying to force hetero bullshit down our throats like this. Empty the Tank says, he thinks it's a prop. He'd probably break it. Same reason I'd never hand him a koala. He'd probably throw it to the ground to prove it's fake. Chromatic Cuttlefish says, radiocarbon dating isn't that difficult. The trick is mostly avoiding contamination of the sample.
you shouldn't have to be a member of a select group.
I wouldn't trust Hans to make me ramen noodles. I think you're a little generous if you think he'd be able to understand the process of radiocarbon dating even if someone explained it to him and did it in front of him.
For people in order to perform science. And this stuff is very top-down. Oftentimes, even if you do get your PhD in particle physics, you're probably not actually going to CERN and running an experiment. This stuff is top-down, and they just feed you data. Astronomy is the exact same way. Just because you have a...
But the data means things, Hans, and if it was manufactured out of whole cloth, people would be able to know that because the data wouldn't make sense. Because they know what they're doing. It's a weird thing where he doesn't even know what he doesn't know. It's very Dunning-Kruger. He doesn't understand that the concerns he's bringing up would not be concerns that make sense, even within the system he's thinking exists. Cashel Gladio says, the whole should be repeatable by anyone operated on the assumption that the finer details of the universe are designed for us and therefore should be easily accessible, but it just ain't so. Yeah. Like, for instance, I would imagine there are things about the universe that even if we lived for eternity, we couldn't understand. They're just things that are probably outside of the purview of our senses, even if we were to, like, build machines to try and detect them. You don't know what you don't know, so if there was something so outside of our own senses and ability to detect that we can't see it, then we can certainly never understand it. The fact that we're able to do all the things we do anyway as a species is amazing. Our brains are fantastic in their ability to problem solve, and it's pretty fucking crazy that we've gone from, you know, hunter-gatherer society to where we are today, where I can talk to literally anyone on the planet instantaneously like this, using computers and monitors and infrastructure, internet. It's amazing. We did that in, like, just tens of thousands of years. It's pretty impressive. Mike Mack says, funny thing is that his so-called argument can be used against the Bible or any other religious text.
A PhD in astronomy and you're allegedly doing research, that doesn't mean that you're, like, looking at stuff with an actual telescope. A lot of times these people are just given data. How is that science? If top down, somebody just hands you data and they're like...
Because that's how collaboration works, Hans.
Interpret that. That's not science. Similarly, this is not science. Nobody here can confirm whether this is actually doing science or if it's just a prop. 27 is another number that pops up a lot because it's 3 cubed.
What numbers are not Illuminati, Hans?
It's the perfect cube of 3. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Oh, and 100 meters is about 330 feet. You see that a lot, 100 meters.
About 330, so it's not 33, but it's like... It's close enough, man.
But I mean, that stuff like that, it's like 100 is a round normal number, but it is almost 330 feet.
Almost. It's not, but it's almost there. And numbers that are... Every number is either Illuminati or almost Illuminati, and that's enough, okay? That's enough for me.
Anyways, I have so many slides here, but I really have said almost everything that I want to say. It's the same as NASA. Look at the orange. That is like the safety orange color, the same NASA orange color. You're gonna see it everywhere. And maybe this will just be a time I can retell.
It's almost like orange is a really, really good color to show something, especially against like a blue or black background, because it pops. That's crazy.
Story. I'll tell a personal story. And I've told this story before, but probably not that many times.
Have I done any Nostradamus things? No, I know there were some like old Nat Geo or History Channel documentaries, air quote, about some Nostradamus stuff. Maybe we can find one of those sometime.
It's a story about orange.
The thing about Nostradamus is it literally just comes down to people reading tea leaves in his words, and it's just eye-rolling to me. There's not a lot to say about Nostradamus other than you're reading into this something that isn't there, you know?
And I did a research paper with a friend, and his girlfriend was...
Wait, you did a
paper with a friend, orange, and I did a research paper with a friend, and his
by research paper, I'm assuming
like
he means a high school research paper. Rageology says, although given how the population has increased since all of humanity were hunter and gatherers, one hunter-gatherer chatting to a large crowd of their mates is probably about the same percentage of humanity as you can reach through the technology of YouTube and Twitch. Yeah?
Graphic design or something like that. And so after we had made our poster for it was like a, you know, in college you...
Okay, so this was in college then.
They'll get a bunch of people together and for whatever little research project you're doing, and a bunch of different people show off their posters.
Can you imagine you get assigned a research like paper in college and you get assigned Hans as a partner?
So that's what we're doing.
Anti-Pretzel says, you want to know how insane we are with science? 100 years ago, we were just figuring out to make a bunch of wood and canvas with an engine on it, leave the ground. Yeah.
Anyways, we hand our poster off to my partner's girlfriend, and when it comes back, it was like totally changed, which I expected that to happen. And
wow, it's almost like Hans is an idiot and probably did the project completely wrong and she had to fix it.
She totally did a good job making it like pop, graphic designy. She totally made it way better. But the point is, our poster came back this shade of bright orange all over. It was just so...
Oh man, it's almost like design-wise, that's a really good way to give striking like things that lead the eye there. Wow, it's almost like it's a design principle in color theory and not a fucking conspiracy, Hans, you goddamn idiot. Moira Soma says, Hans said earlier in the video that he was in academia. KBS666 says, I have physically inside the Fermilab Collider. I assume you have been inside the Fermilab Collider. It's real. The Fermi Collider is the 4th largest in the world, and it was at one point the largest. Very cool.
Right.
Are you in on it? Because right now on my screen, your screen name, I'm not kidding, is coming up as orange for me. So that's fortuitous for the bit.
orange all over. And it's because it's a calling card to these people. I mean, I have so many stories on this from my life. Before I went on a trip...
The color of people's screen names differs depending on, like, who's looking, I think. So it might not look orange to you.
To Europe, my mom made sure to buy me the most obnoxiously bright orange backpack. And now I know it's like she was putting a mark on me. So, like, hey, look over here, guys. Look at this unicorn child. Anyways.
The paranoia.
So yeah, that's it. I have something funny at the end of this video. At least I find it funny, so I'll skip to it.
Oh yeah, those who don't know, Hans thinks his family is in on all these big conspiracies. He thinks his family is in on it, and that they're all just lying to him. He borderline thinks he's in, like, this weird, like, Truman Show thing. Not literally, but, like, he thinks almost everyone in the world is secretly transgender, and that he's one of the only real cis people that exists. This boy's got some issues. This boy has some insecurities that he is not coping with well. It is very strange.
They'll be open about the symbolism. Look at this. This is the dome. Notice how they didn't make it like a total sphere. It's a dome, and then this is what Earth really does look like. This is one of those hidden knowledge, and also, like...
Fun fact. Walking on the inside of a sphere, not very fun, makes more sense to make your building a dome. That way the ground is flat.
They like
Flat Earth confirmed. Checkmate, Globers.
to do things where you interpret it two different ways. Somebody who's totally
Orange counts as spurious symbology, yeah.
asleep would be like, oh, look, it's a sphere. But if you actually know the truth, you'll say, that's not a sphere, that's flat on the bottom with a dome over the top, which is actually where we live. Yes, the globe. There was another 27 in there, by the way. Hindu crap. I picked this because a resident artist at CERN. NASA and CERN and other quote-unquote science organizations must have so many artists on hand. And it's... wasn't there some big-time truther that came out and was like, oh yeah, I was an artist that did some of the Ball Earth paintings or something?
NASA does use artists to do depictions of things that they don't have photos of or would like photos of specific things but need an artist to do renditions of them. That's part of science communication. But having someone illustrate something does not mean that the thing that they're illustrating is untrue or a lie or not real. I can draw a photo, well, I can't, but imagine if I had artistic ability, if I painted or drew a picture of a bowl of fruit. That doesn't mean the bowl of fruit isn't real. Just means I drew it. Tucker White says, the Truman Show is cooler than what we got in real life. It's just the NSA watching all of us, right? Chromatic Cuddle, this is why I just spew everything to you guys. If you have nothing to hide, I've done everything embarrassing I could possibly do on the internet that doesn't require you to be 18 plus on it. So, basically no one could do anything to me, I'm fine. Chromatic Cuttlefish says, fun fact, referring to his data allegations earlier on, you can actually tell if someone is handing you made-up numbers unless they are very careful generating them. Benford's Law, also known as Newcomb-Benford's Law, the law of anomalous numbers, or the first digit law, is an observation that in many real-life sets of numerical data, the leading digit is likely to be small. In sets that obey the law, the number 1 appears as the leading significant digit about 30% of the time, while 9 appears as the leading significant number less than 5% of the time. That's interesting. Didn't know that. 80 Blue says, shout out to the NSA agent that watches me. Sorry you're a furry now. My bad. And Tucker White says, speaking of which, what gift do you think the NSA agent spying on your wedding is bringing? I hope cheese. Hydrate. My NSA agent has been majorly pink-pilled. Fact. Get the Spiro, NSA agent. It's worth it.
I might be wrong on that, but... New exotic particles. Oh, I picked this because another symbolism idea they love is reflections, as above, so below. So, it's a distraction. It's distracting you from stuff like this, more simple. And it's a boogeyman. If anything is portrayed as a boogeyman, oh no, they're turning CERN back on again. It's bullshit. And it's largely a distraction. I feel the same about the HARP, when people are going on and on about HARP. It's like, none of us have control over HARP. It's so far away from you. Why do you even assume HARP can do anything? And instead of stuff like the 5G towers that they obviously put up everywhere, is probably what's...
5G on the bingo card. Do we have 5G on the bingo card? Not 5D, 5G. If we have that.
causing the weird local clouds, not some mysterious boogeyman out in the middle of nowhere that nobody can even go to. So this, I briefly mentioned this earlier. I wanted to put a clip in of the whole NASA. Have you guys seen the NASA, was it the Curiosity? It's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen.
Did he mention HARP? I missed that. HARP on the bingo card. Thank you.
The test, when they were testing the Curiosity landing mechanism, the Curiosity rover landing mechanism is such a piss take on how ridiculous can we make this outer space stuff see. But the video of them testing it is hilarious because they show the test happen and it's the most janky thing ever. It's like, are you kidding me? That's really what you're doing? But then everyone claps like it's the most successful thing ever. That's what they do.
Yes, it doesn't need to look impressive to you. You don't understand what is happening. They're getting data that they have worked for literal years to calibrate their machines and develop their experiments for. Like, my God, Hans, how can you be this dim that you don't understand what you don't understand?
They do. They just videotape themselves clapping. Oh yeah, clap, 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 clap. Have you guys ever been at a live taping of something? If you've been to a live taping of something, you know how this works. There's a guy sitting at the front with a big thing that says applause, and they tell you beforehand, okay, when you see the guy in the front, hold up the applause sign, applause. And they sit people around and direct the audience. That's how they're all just a bunch of bozos in on it, so they love it.
Oh shit, he brought out the most devastating insult of all. Bozo. Chromatic Cuttlefish says, because landing on a planet 300 million kilometers away with a trace atmosphere is effing hard. This is CERN, so this is a particle physics thing, not a NASA thing. But yeah, similar.
They love this stuff. Okay, now everybody clap. I thought it was funny funny but not surprising how the masks, there's no logic to it. And what I thought was funny is how these people are supposed to be super brainy science people, but if you know the way that these people operate about the whole modern current event thing, there's no logic to it. It's ridiculous. So
I have no idea what he's talking about there.
Yeah, how do you know that these things aren't just something that somebody, like, how do you know that that's science and not just a graphic that somebody made exactly like...
Occam's razor just comes nowhere near this man's thoughts, does it? Not even a little bit.
Graphics get made for a movie. Science-y graphics for a movie. That could just be a movie. You don't know that there's actual data behind that. It's probably just art somebody made. One of these people, whatever, you know, one of the artists, resident artists. You very often see people like this involved.
The fuck does that mean?
In academia, plenty of that. This is a hand sign.
Everything you do with your hands is a hand sign.
It's a hand sign on the right. Alice. Taking it down. There's a lot of obvious implications of Alice.
Such as...
They look so stupid. They look so...
Look at all these highly successful professionals who are at the top of their fields of study, respectively. What a bunch of bozos. For Hans, it always comes down to insecurity. It's so weird. Hans, they're very successful individuals. Like, you should be happy for them. People don't normally feel so insecure that they feel the need to tear other people down like this in order to make their own lives feel more fulfilling. Hans, please.
The point. They loved
These bozos doing their dream of doing their life's work at one of the most technologically advanced scientific research stations on Earth.
to point. This also reminds me of, you know, in Law and Order and things like that, when they go and they interview somebody who's like doing a job and the person just keeps doing the job while they're having the interview. It's like, for some reason this reminds me of that, because it's just like simulated work. It's, okay, pretend to be working, pretend to be observing things and pointing. And you know, those kind of people, the skull and the bones of these people, those are some very low ears on the left.
Radiology says, science is fake. They're using CGI technology developed by science to fake science. How can people be so stupid to not see the truth?
Point. Okay, now point. Diversity shot.
Oh, oof.
Here's the hand sign.
Does Hans think non-white people don't exist? What?
Okay, that's not a normal thing that people do with their hands. The smug look on this person's face. So this was a funny, I'll end with this. You can tell that these places are a bunch of bullshit by the reviews. They can't even operate a tourist place. So why do we assume that everything behind the scenes runs perfectly if they can't even...
I don't know if you know this, but the people doing the particle physics probably don't run the gift shop. Different people.
Run a tourist shop and bringing people around a museum. How can we trust that they're doing correct science under there?
That is the weirdest argument I've ever heard. They give a bad tourist experience, therefore the science isn't real. Imagine going to Cape Canaveral and having a bad time, so all of a sudden you decide NASA's not real and we never went to the moon.
It's really hard to understand that an organization literally dealing with rocket science can't set up online reservations, ticket purchases. Feels like they make you come all the way there to, what? Buy some memorabilia at the shop and go back home? Really disappointed. So I know you guys know how to read. The pens are so expensive that the gift shop doesn't even use them for payment signatures.
His argument is that the tours are bad. Hans, it's not primarily meant for you to go tour. I wish the science communication was better if the reviews are generally bad for it. But if it's not, that sucks. But it's also not the primary purpose of what CERN is there for, and it has nothing to do with their actual research. They might just need to hire new management for whoever runs their, like, science communications division that actually does all the tours and plans them and stuff.
Anyways, I have a fun time reading people's reviews. Maybe it's, like, cathartic in reading other people write about their frustrating experiences. Something I love about low-rated reviews. There are a couple of vending machines in case you have to wait for hours like I did. Big fan of the scientific part of CERN. Very disappointed in this. How do you even know? You didn't even get to see anything. How do you know that you're a big fan of the science?
I like that even the person in the review said they liked the science, and Han's like, no! You don't understand! I'm on the internet and I want to complain. Tucker White says, this should be read as German, and this class is where we do the magic. Now please step to the left and browse the gift shop. Mr. Whiskers says, I've grown up with Brevard County in Cape Canaveral is the shit. So many fun field trips. I've never been.
Of CERN, besides pop science articles that you've read, you didn't actually see anything.
Love again, but then pop goes my heart. Pop goes my heart. Lily Love Stuff says, I live in DC, and one of my favorite things is looking up one-star Yelp reviews of free museums and monuments. So many annoying white people from the Midwest salty that everything isn't like the movies and that they had to walk too far to get to things. I've been to DC. I've been to the Smithsonian and gone, walked around the mall and, seen the monuments and gone to the different Smithsonian museums. I've been to Air and Space, Natural History, art. I don't remember which art one is, but it is. I've been to the Native American Museum. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to DC, the Smithsonian is amazing, and it's well worth a trip. Just whatever museum tickles your fancy. I'd recommend it. Air and Space was very cool, as was Natural History and stuff. Lily Lover read that one. Radiology says, ooh, does NASA have a little shop? Ah!
You got a little shop. I like a little shop.
Never mind that.
Oh, I love David Tennant. I'm glad he's coming back. Spoilers? David Tennant's coming back to Doctor Who.
This is such a unique and interesting place with so many scientists, and yet we didn't meet any. Because when we went there, the individual tours were fully booked. And the snobby and unfriendly receptionist.
Yeah, for like an episode or something. And Catherine Tate. Did you guys see this? Yeah, this is him recently filming something for a new Doctor Who special. Neil Patrick Harris is going to be in this episode, I think. Neil Patrick Harris is allegedly playing the Celestial Toymaker, which I'm excited for. Here's a picture of Neil Patrick Harris from the episode. Very exciting.
Told us that we needed to be 2 hours ahead in the place. There, you can see people...
I'm guessing the Celestial Toymaker is why this regeneration goes back to Tennant, which is not typical of Doctor Who.
People have a lot of faith in the project, besides going there and having a horrible experience. Lots and lots and lots of stars for the actual protagonists of this project. How do you know? For all you know, they don't. That's the point. They don't know. And they never actually experience anything, but they still leave thinking that it's a legitimate thing. Seriously in need of Disney magic. I thought that was a funny thing to say.
Oh my fucking god, Disney adults. Stop it!
I could get a better explanation of what's going on here by watching the Big Bang Theory show. Some of
That's definitely not true.
these comments were perfect. Like, I don't know.
I gotta see the reviews for CERN. Okay, the reviews are generally good. He picked out the bad ones, but it's got a 4.5 out of 5 on TripAdvisor, so that's good. Do you think Hans posted fake CERN reviews for this video? I'm not saying that definitely happened, I'm just wondering.
Know if they know what they're saying tongue-in-cheek, but...
Or how many flat earthers and weird anti-science people just post bad reviews because they're salty bitches.
This is just perfect. I just cannot believe that they are able to do serious science here. Man, I just love these. It was too good. Seems a huge bureaucratic entity, and the visit was not so informative at all.
It's one of the most expensive machines ever created by human beings. There's gonna be bureaucratic shit.
And then you see a bunch of BS like this. You know, stop feeding into the spookiness. You could pause and read any of these if you want. Yeah, I love what you do, but the quality of items on your gift shop, particularly textiles, is appalling. After one wash, the print is gone and pens fall apart. That's pretty much how this world works. You build up these things so much in your mind. You've seen so many pretty photoshopped...
Someone says Celestial Toymaker. Elaborate. Think Q? You know, Q from Star Trek? Kinda Q from Star Trek.
images of things and...
To my understanding. Someone posted the Wikipedia link.
well-crafted, meaty...
I haven't seen the Celestial Toymaker episode. At least some of it is lost, I believe. If not all of it, I'm actually not sure. But from my cursory understanding, cosmic being that has reality warping powers.
Yeah, things. But then when you get there, you see it for what the giant heap it is.
Does Hans think that the gift shop merchandise is made by people at CERN? The quality control on that is not up to them, though they could get a different vendor. Hydrate.
They can't even do a web registration for this place. There's something about an Italian guy I thought was funny. Somebody just commented that, 666 Beast. This was hilarious. Too loud. Had trouble listening to tour guide. He was eating chips.
Princess Amelia says, only the last episode of the original Celestial Toymaker serial has been preserved. That's a shame.
Yep. So a lot of people have the same experiences. They can't even run a tour guide. How do you expect them to be able to really be doing things behind the scenes?
That's a complete non sequitur, Hans. The people doing the tours aren't the people doing the science. How can he not understand
they can't
this?
even run a museum.
Like, does he think the particle physicists are taking turns guiding the tours? No, Hans, they hire people for that specifically.
Yeah, it's because it's just Disneyland. Hope you enjoyed. God bless everyone.
I missed Hans. He's such an idiot. What a lovely guy. Anyway, moving on. No, not Don Cheadle. The other one. The other War Machine guy. Terence Howard. We can check bingo in a sec. This is only 2 minutes. We'll check the bingo card after this. So, for anyone who watched... A while ago we did a video where this individual, who you might recognize from the first Iron Man film, among other things, Terence Howard, is an actor who at some point has gone completely fucking crazy. He is knucking futs. It is weird. He thinks... He gave a whole presentation that we watched where he genuinely believes that all math is wrong and that 1 times 1 equals 2. And because of this, he believes that he can invent all sorts of new free energy. He kind of thinks he's a real-life Iron Man. He's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and he has too much money for anyone to get him the help he needs. So now, he's in Uganda in this clip, selling them on just woo-woo bullshit he made up. So prepare to be disappointed in not quite War Machine. Mike Mack says, Tennant is the perfect doctor to bring the Valeyard back. I agree.
You know, I was born Terence Deshaun Howard. I've become an actor. You know, I've been nominated for Oscars and Golden Globes and SAG Awards. But those weren't the things that really moved me. As a child, I studied chemical engineering at Pratt Institute. Was there for 2 years until I saw...
Adia Blue says, was machine.
that there was an inconsistency with the math there. And so I went out to explore a new way of understanding how the universe worked, and I was able to define the grand unified field equation they've been looking for and put it into geometry. And then with that geometry, I was able to put props on that. And what I'm saying is now we have invented a new form of flight that I would like to bring here to Uganda.
He thinks he learned new math that lets you do anti-gravity. Tucker White with a link in 45 bits.
It was my understanding that there would be no math.
Absent Mimic says, please read. It's surprisingly relevant. Also makes me sad for Terrence. Oh no, the Santa line slaying was a nationally publicized incident that occurred on December 21st, 1971 in Cleveland, Ohio. The incident resulted in the death of one man, Jack Fitzpatrick. Tyrone Howard was convicted of manslaughter and served 11 months in prison. In 2005, the incident attracted some attention again when it was revealed that Tyrone Howard is the father of actor Terence Howard, who witnessed the incident as a young boy. Terence Howard gave an interview on Oprah about the incident, but his account of what happened was later contradicted by his father, who accused him of trying to garner publicity for his own career. 21-year-old Tyrone Howard and his pregnant wife took their 3 sons, one of whom was 2-year-old Terence, to see Santa Claus at the Higbee's department store in Cleveland. Also waiting in the line was 36-year-old Jack Fitzpatrick, who was with 3 of his own children while his pregnant wife shopped with their oldest daughter. At one point, the Howards were accused of cutting in line by some of the others, including Fitzpatrick. An argument began between the 2 men. What was said in the argument and who initiated the altercation differs among witnesses, but the result was Fitzpatrick grabbed Howard, pinned him against a wall, and kneed him in the groin. Howard's groin began bleeding from a previous injury received on the job. Howard then used a sharp object to stab Fitzpatrick several times in the thighs and neck until Fitzpatrick hit the floor. Howard fled to his mother's home. Hours later, he turned himself into police. Fitzpatrick was taken to a nearby hospital and died of his wounds. Holy fucking shit. No wonder Terence is all fucked. That's a shame. Maps and Mimics. Nope, I read that one. MH Darkbeast says, holy shit, the old Celestial Toymaker was played by Michael Gow, a.k.a. Alfred from the 90s Batman films. Oh, I didn't know that. I like him. Mike Max with a link. Okay.
To replace the drones, to replace the helicopter.
Even if he doesn't consciously remember, trauma can still mess you up. Like, I get it, he was 2 years old, he might not consciously remember, but stuff from back then can still echo, and trauma affects you whether you consciously remember it or not.
Just to replace the planes. We have all the funding necessary. What we need is just a fertile ground in which to build this. Now, this is the geometry of hydrogen. Of hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
This is the proton itself. So any bond that hydrogen can make, our linchpins are able to make. So we're talking about unlimited bonding, unlimited predictable structures, supersymmetry, and the lynch.
Word salad on the bingo card. Lily Love Stuff says, what can we do to ban Americans from Uganda? I don't know. Evangelicals fucked up Uganda too. God Loves Uganda. Good documentary explaining that. It's a little out of date. It's from probably a decade ago. But evangelicals have come into Uganda and fucked it.
Linchpins are now able to behave as a swarm, as a colony that can defend a nation, that can harvest food, that can remove plastics from the ocean, that can give the children of Uganda and the people of Uganda an opportunity to spread this and to sell these products throughout the world. So we are no longer just selling agricultural products and pieces from the land. We can now sell and take center stage with technology. But the main purpose is to defend the sovereignty of a peaceful place and a peaceful people without having to have our young men lose their lives.
Okay, go off, Terrence. Actually don't. Please stop scamming people. Tucker White says, treating Africa like a dumping ground. Good to see that some things never fucking change. Everyone in the world is just absolutely shit on Africa. Apparently it's China's turn. That's unfortunate. God damn. Just everyone in Africa I feel fucking bad for. Because the rest of the world has just treated it like shit. Stolen resources and fucking people and... oh god, it's a nightmare. G-Tara says, so the hydrogen atoms are sentient? I guess. Check the bingo cards. Yeah, boy. 5G. Hannah mentions cheese Hot Pockets. Illuminati Freemasons. Empty the Tank says, wait, so he's selling it to them so they can sell it to the world? So it's an MLM. Why not? Numerology. Word salad. Spurious symbology. PSYOP. Page 2 of the bingo card. Oh yeah, Flat Earth, for sure. It's on this one. Flat Earth. That's not how science works. No, it wasn't overt anti-Semitism, it was thinly veiled anti-Semitism. We didn't have aliens, did we? We had HARP. Cites fiction as fact. Hans comparing the Large Hadron Collider to movies he's seen. Thinly veiled anti-Semitism. Bad parenting for Terrence's dad. You know what? Fuck it. Fine. Bad parent. Don't stab people. Not great parenting. Alright, so that's what we're up to. Hydrate. You know what? We can also have my research said by not a researcher for Terrence's whole thing. That makes sense. Old enough to know better now, says Bingo. Let me see your card if you believe you have bingo, and I will double check. My research said not by a researcher. PSYOP, free space, numerology, bad parenting. You've done it. Old enough to know better now is our bingo winner of the day, and I will write down your name on the bingo winner sheet. That way you can redeem whenever you would like. Radiology, sorry I missed your bits, said Michael Gow was also married to 60s Doctor Who companion actress Anke Williams, who played Polly. In her memoir, she revealed that when Gow got drunk, he used to beat the shit out of her, something I bring up because the fact was studiously ignored by everyone in the industry, including those who wrote his obituary. Gross. Now I have to dislike Alfred, and that's not fun. No, sky being fake is different than space being fake. Because they think they're... It's a whole thing. They're different. Old enough to know better now. Saved. Congratulations. So that's our gift sub winner of the day. However, you can still play for fun. So we're still doing bingo for funsies. How about this guy trying to figure out how many people believe in flat Earth? This is a flat earther, I believe. Artemis8192, thanks for 19 months, says, hey, Hannah, tragedy has struck with our stream twins Morb and Morb. It seems Morb ate Morb in their sleep. It has now become Morb and is growing at twice the rate of a normal child. That's fine. It's like reducing a fraction. We've made things easier for ourselves.
Bing, 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 bing. The results are in. According to you guys, the Earth is flat. And we've got...
Oh, surprise. This flat Earth YouTuber put out a poll to his audience, and they voted that the Earth was flat because it's a flat Earth channel, and they're all here because they think the Earth is flat. Is he going to extrapolate the data from his flat Earth community to the world? Because that'll be pretty amazing.
At the results here, I do want to thank you if you did participate in the poll. I really do appreciate that. So without further ado, let's dive into the result.
Oh my God! Oh, ow.
Now, out of a total of, I think it was about 600 and almost 700 people did watch the video. Out of 87 total people.
Wow, 87 people voted in the poll. Good sample size. Okie Dad says, I'll take biased sample for 200.
Oh, wait a minute. I was born in 87. Somebody grab my tinfoil hat. So now, out of 87 total responses, an astounding 79
Mobius Strip,
people
New York City,
voted
thanks for
yes
following.
that the Earth is flat. And 8 people, which would be 9%, voted no, the Earth is a globe. Now let's take a look at all of you guys' responses to the poll result and why you think that the Earth is flat or not. Let's dive in. Onyx, the German Shepherd, says because the Bible says what it means and means what it says. Also, everything...
Bible is the only source of wisdom on the bingo card. Adia Blue says this is just cheapo version of John Doyle. Fair. We don't know if John Doyle is a flat earther. He may be.
In this fallen world seems to be upside down and backwards, opposite of what they tell us. Plus, my senses have more witness to the fact that it's not a spinning ball since childhood. Awesome comment, bro. Thank you, Onyx. Ornan Nelson says, I will give you my top 3 gyroscopes. Weather balloon footage of the
Adia Blue says, heck off, Flatty.
eye-level horizon are everyday understandings of the properties of water. It finds its level no matter what. Congrats on your channel. Thank you, Ornan Nelson. Dean Mall says, the Earth is what God, the Creator, said it is. He spoke it into existence, so he should know.
What flat earthers don't understand is that level just means equidistant from the center of gravity, and on a globe, that's round. So water does curve, the Earth is just huge.
God Almighty said the Earth doesn't move. God Almighty said that the sky is firm like a reflective mirror. God Almighty said that the celestial bodies all move and give off light for us here on Earth to track the time and seasons. That's true. God Almighty said that the foundation of the Earth has 4 corners and he engraved the middle in a circular shape. God Almighty said that there is a great abyss below us and a mass of water above the expanse called the heavens. God Almighty said the sun moves in a circuit like a man running a race. God Almighty said the breadth of the earth is a plateau. God Almighty said the earth has a cornerstone and the earth has an end to it. Sorry, Infinite Plane folks. From one deception right to another you go. God Almighty told believers to look up in the last days because the Redeemer...
Tucker White with 60 bits and a link.
Hey everybody, the idiot parade is in town.
is coming.
I kind of missed the Daily Show.
And every eye that is looking up shall see him.
I know it still exists. You know what I mean. I missed the Jon Stewart Daily Show. Not that I'd probably agree with everything now. I'm probably further left of Jon than I was when that show was on the air, but still.
God Almighty said that heaven is directly above the earth, and Jesus demonstrated that fact when he ascended up.
Can we get to the extrapolations, please, from your data?
Ultimately proves that it's flat. So thank you, Gavin. Mercury and Venus are visible at night, so I guess they are the 2 planets closer to the sun. You can see them at night. They look like stars. How does this work? Now, one thing I do want to mention, and maybe I'll make
You could find actual answers to that! Google it!
A full-length video on this, but the fact that a lot of people are using this P900
They're not as big as stars, but they're closer, so they just look like points of light in the sky to us from here on Earth without a telescope.
as evidence and proof that Venus and all the planets are not spherical in nature, or that they're not as what NASA tells us to be. But here's the problem with that. It's called bokeh, or bokeh. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it is a term for a light. It's a term for a light that's out of focus. And now look at movies, you can check this out, you can grab a camera and test this.
Did you ever talk to the flat earther you planned to talk to? No, he bitched out. Surprise. He just stopped contacting me. I want to interview a flat earther. I think it'd be an interesting conversation, but I don't know. They don't want to talk to me. I don't think we've seen Daniel Pratt in a while bitch from his garage, so let's take a look.
Good morning from deep in the heart of the insane nation of the United States. I can only speak for the collective mindset of my country, but it's the same all over the world. What's the definition of insanity again? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And that's how I feel now. Listening to all these assholes. Oh, Biden can't run again, so who's it going to be now? Oh, Kamala Harris is meeting with donors. Or is it going to be Gavin Newsom? Or will it be...
Chromatic Cuttlefish says, I miss Daniel Pratt's water heater. Me too.
Who knows? Dickhead from Illinois. Fat fuck.
Glass houses.
And then will it be Trump or will it be DeSantis or... Here's an idea. How about if your name has been heard in the political realm in the last 40 years, go slither back into the hole you slithered out of and fucking die.
I don't necessarily disagree. What does this have to do with flat Earth? He's a flat earther, for those who don't know. Rageology says, the Earth is as God says it is. I'm trying to remember which early church elder it was who told early Christians not to preach stuff that was obviously not true, like the Earth was made in 6 days, because such obviously wrong mythic stories would never convert ordinary people to the true religion. Whoever it was, his fears were unfounded.
Fuck off. You are part of the problem, not part of the solution. Fucking Trump supporters. Wee! Wee! But he's the greatest president ever! Wee! And how quickly was that dismantled by Shanghai Joe Biden? So what good did it do? He already had his chance. He blew it. It's just ridiculous, man. I put that video up this morning. I mean, how much more true could that be? That the more things change, the more they stay the same. Now you could say, oh, that was a movie, but that was done in the 70s. When the last time the economy was this...
What is he talking about?
Shitty. So it's just an ever...
Bittergrin says, wow, I agree with some emphasis on some of what Daniel Pratt is saying. Is he talking about 2001: A Space Odyssey? Some conspiracy theorists use that as evidence that the moon landing was faked.
Merry-go-round cycle of these political hacks that I'm just so fed up with it all. And we are surrounded by people that just don't get it. The dumbing down of this nation has been so successful, so complete. It's painfully obvious. I put that video up this morning and immediately one of the triggered fucking trolls, because I'm a flat earther, immediately thumbs it down. It couldn't be more true, but they have to thumb it down because I speak the truth of the earth we dwell upon. So everything I put up, they have to hate and immediately put it down, no matter what I say.
I gotta take this out. It's really hot.
Don't worry, it don't bother me a bit.
Whew.
It's just, again, to point out the insanity we're surrounded by. You know, we say things like we live in the Twilight Zone, or, you know, the inmates have taken over the asylum. Again, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And at the very least, once again, you keep voting for and putting in office these assholes.
Alright, is he gonna talk about flat Earth or not? I don't need random middle-aged white man gives political opinions in garage. I grew up with that for 18 years. I don't need to hear more of it. That's a restaurant I've been to. She lives in the same state as me.
happening, good people? Hey, what is happening, good people? Uncool Paranoia here. I am just here today to make a quick video just to
Why is always Michigan on the bingo card?
show you a few screen caps. I know it's been a while since I've done a video like this, but I'm going to go ahead and use my time wisely while I have it and just go ahead and just give you guys some raw footage straight from the gusto. All right, let's just get into it. So these screen captures are from Cardi B's most recent video, Hot SHIT. And as I was watching this video, I just had to make a video about it. Like, check this out. This is the classic Baphomet pose, if I ever seen one. And I'm going to show you.
Classic Baphomet pose? Hold on. What's Baphomet look like? I have a statue of him around somewhere. Because he's not doing this. He's, like, doing this, I think. It's like this or something. I don't remember the exact pose, but it's not what she's doing there.
Some screen caps next to this to just kind of refresh your memory. So anybody who's like kind of into this type of research, you already know what I'm talking about. Of course, you can see it at the bottom of my screen in the preview there. But yeah, there were two robot arms.
What does oppression feel like? Wonder if I am, but I do not feel sad, just nothing. That's actually a misconception. Often depression just feels like an emptiness, a hopelessness. You don't necessarily feel sad, you just feel like everything is pointless and nothing matters. And what's even the point? That can be depression. So, I'd recommend, if you can, talking to someone about that. I understand, especially in the United States, that is not an option for everyone, unfortunately, because we live in a fucked up country where people don't have access to healthcare. But, at the very least, knowing that can help. So yes, that is a very common descriptor of depression.
Kind of like putting her together, or perfecting her within the video. So you got the whole transhumanist aspect, and you've got her lit on fire. It kind of made me think of the Statue of Liberty. But yeah, let's go ahead and pull this in here. This image right here is what I thought about as I was watching the video. This is the Lady Gaga with the classic one-eye symbolism there, compared to the Baphomet statue. Exactly the same.
My transition goal is to have the tits of Baphomet.
And there you've got the flame up top. The Statue of Liberty flame, or the
maybe a little less fake looking.
Flame of
But
Apollo,
other than that,
or Apollyon, or Abaddon, whatever you want to call this same entity that has been influencing the wicked since the fall of Satan. So which I feel like is definitely a form of time travel, because this is the same evil that's controlling this wicked industry.
Time travel on the bingo card?
And they all do it. They just call it art. I know you've all seen these pictures before, but I'm just showing them just to emphasize a point, that they use the same symbolism, the same antics over and over again, and just call it something new. I mean, the Bible does tell us there's nothing new under the sun, and which is why I feel this is the true form of time travel, that ever since Satan and his fallen angels fell from heaven, they've been here on earth. They are roaming earth. So yeah, let's just look at some more of these. They all do it. Check the wings out here. Like, come on now. But no, just conspiracy theory, blah, blah, blah.
Correct! You are a conspiracy theorist! You not understand aesthetic!
Look,
my fucking god!
She went for the gusto here, like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wear red. Oh, man.
Are tits as pog as they seem? Asking for very cis reasons, I assure you. I love having boobs, just because it makes me feel much more comfortable. It's a weird feeling. I gotta, man, it's hard to describe, I think, if someone doesn't have dysphoria. But, like, it just feels more comfortable. I feel like I'm supposed to have boobs. Does that make sense? Like, it feels better.
So yeah, this picture right here is a direct capture from the video. And I'm going to go ahead and show you that in a second too. So I'm going to show you as, quickly and simply as I can to avoid a strike. But yeah, of course she had to flash the one-eye symbolism in the video. And I'm going to show you the time cap where she actually did it, which just drives the point home, just adds insult to injury. Like, yeah, we're just mocking all of you. So yeah.
For the record, for all the ass people in the chat, I think I have a better ass than I do tits. You just don't see my ass because, you know how cameras work. Discordant Bull says, Metal Gear 6, the Phantom Bazongas.
Here's just another capture I just want to show you, just for emphasis. In this infamous Eminem picture has resurfaced on his album cover. There's nothing new under the sun. That's such an old picture, and it came back. Used it again for his next album cover. And I guess they just kind of added in that black, mustache and beard that he has now, looking all crazy. But yeah.
Can Baha confirm? I don't know if Baha is in chat. If she is, Baha, confirm or deny. Do I have an ass that does not quit? I'm what the kids call thick.
That's that. And here's the last one. No, I think there's one more after this.
Baha confirms. Fact.
Same evil, different vessels. I mean, either these celebrities have some kind of eye disease or eye issue or an eye infection, that they have to cover up one eye. If you have the pink eye, then, want to kind of look the other.
It's literally just an aesthetic thing. It's a common trope in photography. It's not a hidden symbol.
The way, so nobody can see it. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, anybody who knows me personally, I have an eye issue for real, and it's not a walk in the park. So for anybody to kind of act like they might have an eye issue,
Morello, thanks for following.
At all, so that just can't be the case. I mean, they're being controlled by the same entity. They have the same puppet master.
Radiology says, I wouldn't say I have a great ass, but it's certainly value for money.
Okay, I believe this is the last image here. Check that out. They all do it. Black, white, Asian persuasion, doesn't matter. Whether it's a religious leader, so-called religious leader, whether they're in education, healthcare, politics, they're gonna cover that eye. They're gonna show allegiance to the fallen one. But yeah, let's get into this. Here's the actual video here, and...
Is this what I'm saying? And there's a link.
Quote, thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Is that a good thing? Do you think I'm thick?
Well, what I think they mean is, you're a bit on the heavier side?
So they're calling me fat.
In a good way. In a good way.
Well, how else am I supposed to take that other than an insult?
Well, humans, always updating our vocabulary. Sick means cool, hot means cool, even fat is cool. With a PH, that is.
That's not how you spell fat.
Well, apparently we can't even spell thick either. 2 C's! Can you believe that?
That's a counterintuitive way to compliment someone. So tell me, Dave, am I thick with 2 C's?
Yeah.
Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal?
Thicker than a giant freaking bowl of oatmeal.
Yeah, I'm thick as fuck.
If you want, I'd even let you sit on me. I mean, that's how thick you are, but...
What?
Wait, maybe I got my definitions mixed up.
Why would you want that?
It's a human thing, okay?
That's disgusting.
Oh, yeah, it's totally weird.
I don't see why humans find that endearing.
Yeah, me neither.
Besides, I'd easily crush their fragile skulls with my meaty posterior.
What?
What do you know? The video actually released on July 13th. Of all days, you got 13, the number of rebellion, of course. So I slowed this down, and I'm gonna...
It did say animated by Hannah. This is true. Lily Love Stuff says, I need white people to stop co-opting AAVE and not understanding how to use it correctly. Like, if you don't know why thick is spelt with 2 C's, don't use it.
Muted. Okay, the music is not important. I mean...
AAVE, African American Vernacular English?
Of course, I'm sure they're saying things in the lyrics, but, other channels do break down.
I did not do the animation. Though if I could do animation, it would probably be about thick dragons.
Sounds of lyrics, I'm not really going to get into that.
That's a joke, I'm not a furry.
But I'm trying to...
Scaly, whatever.
Avoid a copyright strike or anything.
Idiot Blue says, I'm watching you, Hanners, the non-furry. Not a furry.
Like that. So yeah, let's just get into this. So of course, you got the helicopter over the city. Gonna speed this up a little bit. Not about to do a full video breakdown, but here you go. The video starts off showing Cardi B at the top of this building here. Yep. And of course, she looks like she's half human, half robot type thing. Like whatever this is, must like these tubes are feeding her veins or something. Yeah. Same stuff. Same imagery. And it just kind of goes into these.
Wasn't one of Hannah's D&D characters an animal? I'm currently playing a tabaxi rogue, which is a cat person. That doesn't make me a furry.
Unnecessary.
I also played a tiefling once. That doesn't make me a monster person.
Garbage lyrics. Yeah. So here's the scenes with the robot arms and the transhumanist aspect, and she's just looking totally soulless, right? Yeah. Same stuff, like Beyonce.
Doesn't make you a monster person, says the woman with horns.
Say has done
circumstantial.
This, of course, Lady Gaga. There's that. So as you progress through the video, let's see, let's get her done here. Yep, you've got Lil Durk here, rapping some unnecessary garbage lyrics, but you know, that's that. To each their own, if they like this kind of stuff. Used to be really into it, but the main attraction to this video here, guys, is what prompted me to do this. Look who makes an appearance. The Reformed Christian himself, Kanye West. Check that out. Yep. Sporting the mask because everything is about covering up your face. The mask is where they want, you know, society to go. They want everybody to wear the mask all day, all the time.
Oh my god, people don't even wear masks anymore most of the time. Is this bitch still fucking bitching about COVID masks? I still wear mine, especially if I'm not wearing makeup that day. It helps a lot with dysphoria and how other people are perceiving me. But most people outside are not wearing masks. Stores are not requiring them, you fuck. Would you just shut the fuck up about this shit already? Rageology says, look chat, stop trying to make this weird. Hannah doesn't want to be a monster person, she just wants to fuck monster boys. And girls. I don't discriminate on the gender of a monster person.
Indoors, outdoors, or whatever. People may feel like the Convid's 1984 dystopia has disappeared. No, it's still alive and well, and they are dusting off the propaganda machine to bring it back. So, yeah. I believe that's one of the reasons why they're using Kanye West, just to cover up his face. But yeah, all those people who say, yeah, he's a Christian now, make Christian music, you know. And, you know, people even talk trash to me, talking about I wasn't giving him a chance or anything like that, because God can change anybody, which is true. You know, God is the only one who can change a man's heart. But the Bible also tells us, you know them by their fruits. And this guy most certainly has some rotten fruit, so check this out.
Sure, monster NBs as well.
That got that programmable matter back.
Oh, I'm aware COVID is getting worse. I know.
Back there just bumping with the beat. And we've all seen that before. Got the black goo here. And I'm gonna skip this up a bit because there's something I want to show you. Of course, they always, you know, have this.
Okay, she's just bitching about a music video. Quiet185, thanks for gifting a sub and saying it's like secret Illuminati shit. Oh, guys, especially, you know, trans femmes in the audience, like myself. Sophia's gonna give us Divine Feminine DNA Activation is the name of this video. So let's just take a minute and get our feminine DNA activated. MH Darkbeast says, can we watch that awful vaccine video? Much love to our thick tinfoil queen. I desire to bring pain. Maybe. I don't know. I'm doing an anti... I'll save it no matter what, but I don't know if I feel like an anti-vaxxer thing today. What? Did she take it down? Between the time I started the stream and now, she has taken down this film. And frankly, I think that's discrimination. Now we don't... Guys... That would have done it. It would have given all trans femmes in the audience a magic girl transformation, but the video, unfortunately, has been removed between the time I pulled it up and now. So now we can't have magic girl transformations. Sorry, everyone. Not my fault. That's a shame. Laura Eisenhower, I'm not going to watch any of her videos today, but Laura Eisenhower is like the great-granddaughter of Dwight D. Eisenhower, the president, And she's a crazy conspiracy theorist now. Yeah, so that's interesting. Check Twitter, I'm a scaly now. Oh lord, let me take a look. Oh no. That's actually really good. It's a good sketch. This is what I look like when I'm in my lizard person mode. Very cute. Thank you. That's very nice.
Check this out, people. Okay, so I just posted that thing, Hug Trees, right? Facebook. 12 years ago, I posted this. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, but it can be changed to positive or...
I'm hot in this drawing. Just the drawing.
Or negative. Love and compassion creates positive energy, which is 100,000 times more influential than negative energy, which comes from stress, fear, and lies. So the secret to life is simply love everything. Did I just fucking post that tree thing and all of a sudden this thing pops up? God, this is how God works, people. I'm telling you, it is the end of secret societies, man.
So since you're a scaly now, your next character is a tiefling bard. That's actually funny you bring that up. Jake invited me to a new campaign. He's not DMing, but he's a player in with his old DM. So I'm going to be doing that. It's offline. It's not like Charisma Saves that's going to be an online thing. So you won't get to see it. But the character I'm making for that is a tiefling monk. So I am going to be playing a tiefling character. I like tieflings.
12 years ago, I said the same fucking thing I said today, just haphazardly. Love trees, people. Love the earth. Use the word tree publicly. People are going to wonder why all these fucking people are loving trees. Why? Because positive energy is 100 times more influential than negative energy. Everybody love trees, and this Freemason bullshit's going to fall apart. Fucking every story in the Bible is 9/11. Listen, you know the Bible says, put on your armor of God to fight the evil. Man, fuck that. Armor adds up to 29, which is 9/11. You know what I want you to put in the armor of love. God is love, okay? Who knows who God is? These guys have fucking a million different names for him, right? I think God is the sun in the sky because everything's made of light harmonically held together. That's a lot of fucking light, man. That's a lot of fucking information. It comes from the sun. But listen, that doesn't fucking matter. You are God. That's why I adds up to 17, which is 8, which is God, right? The infinity sign turned upside down and back.
How is 29 9/11? Because 1 + 1 is 2, and 9 is 9, so 119, reverse it, 9/11. I listen to the crazies enough that I know where they're going.
It's 8, that's why we smash the 8 ball and pool. They fucking hate the number 8. They hate 8, 11, and 22. I'm a 22 warrior for God. Anyways, listen. Love. Put on the armor of God. Everywhere you go, when you walk in a room, you radiate love. I think these people can read minds too. So radiate love. Love is coming, and you Masons are fucked. Love is coming, and you Masons are fucked. That's what I want you to say when you go to... That's your fucking new affirmation, okay? Mama Earth, we're coming to heal you. We're coming to feed all your people.
What the fuck was that?
Hey, everybody, I have something really cool coming today. Touch back, but I had to do this real quick. I can't fucking believe it. You remember on about April 25th, I did the Elon Musk numerology? Look what they did May 3rd. Elon Musk numerology, but all kinds of fucking bullshit charts. It's not that fucking complicated, people. It's fucking simple. Elon Musk is the new 9/11. Elon, 19. Musk, 10. 29, 9/11. Just like Walt Disney, Hitler, Jesus, Lucifer, they all add up to 9/11. Just like fucking Stay Puft Marshmallows, Velveeta, fucking Red Bull, Bud Light. It's all 9/11. Why? Because the Freemasons don't want you to know that they are 100% full of fucking shit, manipulating us every fucking way they can. But here's the thing. They fucking lose. They lose, they lose, they lose. And that's all I want you to think about. I love you. They lose. Okay? I love you guys and they lose. Bye.
Baha isn't brainwashed, she's just very into lizards. What can I say? She can't get enough of my cloaca.
I love you, Mr. Tree. I love you so much. I love you, Mama Earth. I love you, God. I love all you mouse-clicking truthers out there. Listen, God gave me the plan yesterday. I want you hugging trees everywhere you go, and I want everybody to see it, okay? Here's why. Tree 21 equals 3, 3 equals 9/11. But that's not why. You see all these rice and apple experiments? They give love to the rice, they give hate to the rice. The hate turns fucking moldy and nasty, and the love turns awesome. Yeah, we're gonna do that to Mama Earth. Give her love everywhere you go.
Those are fake posts.
But better than that, we're going to be a presence in the public with truthers. Hug trees everywhere you go. It's going to do two things. It's going to give Mama Earth love and heal her. That's alchemy. That's the secret of the Sphinx. Sphinx 666. Love 666. Love controls reality. Secret of the pyramids and the pharaohs, how to control us so they control our love, because they have no fucking love, right? So love everything and love trees. Give Mama Earth love, and we're going to expose the numeric language with the word tree, okay? Everywhere. We need a
What's the numerology for medication? Probably 9/11. Most of them seem to be 9/11.
Public presence. Go.
Oh, he's a strange guy. One more.
All right, folks, what do you say we end this day of demystifying Freemason bullshit with man's ancient language numbers with ancient Egypt? Egypt adds up to 28, which is 10, which is the king, like IRS in Israel. The secret of the pyramid, 41. The Freemason compass and square. The secret of the pharaoh, 4. M-I-V-I, 959, the top priest, black magic, right? So what is the secret of the Sphinx? Well, the secret of the Sphinx is easy, 36,666. It's all the same as the Masons, people. So the final secret, what is the secret? What is the true meaning of the eye and the triangle? Well, triangle like pyramid is 41, which is 5, the Freemason compass and square, and I adds up to 17, which is God.
Holy
Their
fuck.
God is Lucifer, black.
Hold on, Occult Comics did a full body sketch. Damn, I'm a hot, thick lizard lady. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Occult Comics with 100 bits. Now that's thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. That's good shit. God damn, I could crush 2 watermelons with my thighs. This is also completely anatomically correct. From the waist down where you can't see me, that's exactly what I look like. That is 100% accurate. Don't look into it further. Can Dragon me call you a good girl? You're a very good girl, Profane Priestess. Just imagine the dragon said it. Alright, what else we doing? Is there like a chud in chat? I don't see the chud, but I feel like Baja is talking to a chud. Anyway. Oh, someone said CC. Do you want to see CC? I don't even know if it's anything interesting. I feel like we cover him constantly. Chad is always a mix of people, and this is what makes it complicated. There are some people who get, like, super annoyed if I cover the same people all the time, but then there's another group of people that really want me to keep covering the same people because they, like, find it interesting. So I gotta strike a balance. How about this? This is one of those false history videos, I think.
So these are the 2 guards from Delhi with James Reckleton in the middle, which was an American photographer. He visited India in 1903, and those were the typical...
This is not Beach Towel Guy.
Indian giant.
Similar subject matter, but it's a different guy completely.
And in 1963, a Turkish man uncovered an underground city after...
They have similar accents, though, which is interesting.
knocking down a wall in his home, the ancient city called Derinkuyu in the region of Cappadocia, 18 stories deep, and could house 20,000 people. Chapels, skulls, and stables were found. So human species.
What do you think of this fan art? Oh shit, that's really, really dope. I assume that's of someone else's character named Hannah, considering the flying thing. That's still very cool, though. I like that person's D&D character. Or whatever it is.
She's living underground, probably because on the surface it was nuclear war. And this was like probably maybe the 1800s or something, or 1700s. A hole in the middle of nowhere, and in a field, and just like that, so that you know, have like underneath systems of caves and all that stuff. This is the 114 years mammoth, which was recovered from northern Siberia. This was published in the National Geographic somewhere around the beginning of the 20th century, 19 something, or maybe like late 19th century. Mammoths exist. They're not mythological. They existed. So, yeah. This is Altmarkt in Dresden, Germany, but it was a different Germany. So this is 1880. With the statue of Germania in the center. This was destroyed. Everything was destroyed in 1945. You can actually imagine what was the purpose, amongst other things, of the Great War, of the Second and First World War, especially the Second. And of course, those buildings were from a different time, when Germany was not actually even.
Well, this guy's a charisma vacuum. Do we just want to watch Mac and Me's McDonald's scene? YouTube won't let me. People are saying CC, so I guess we'll do CC.
Look, I was there, okay? I was as lost as any of these trained rats are, okay? And if it wasn't for Flat Earth and me putting all of these pieces together after years of investigation, I would have never come to the realization of how corrupt the politicians are. I mean, I always knew they were corrupt, but I mean, how bad it is. I mean, really, how they've taken control over everything. They've taken control over your lives. Apparently, you can't record electric stations.
Oh, they were installing electric charging stations at a place Chris was at. I watched this video, but it wasn't that interesting. And he was basically complaining and claiming that electric cars are why gas is so expensive. Yeah, he's an idiot. He thinks electric cars are like a conspiracy or something.
I just recorded.
MH Darkbeast says, Jake looked at the latest D&D Unearthed Arcana. There's feats for awesome card effects like card spellcasters. I sense a future gambler bard. Oh, that's fun.
On your phone while they're building them. That's what I was told. I didn't notice those little cops that were hiding in the background over there. And they specifically told me that there's no recording here. Sorry. Okay, so that was the end of that. Obviously, that video. But, I mean, don't you understand what they're trying to do? I mean, they're just trying to control you. Okay, they're trying to make a new world order. And that's what this is all about. Okay, you're not going to get some buffoon behind that presidency's seat. Okay, and turn everything off that the previous president did, which everybody hated him, but everything was fine. It was like we were back in the...
Things were not fine.
80s. Gas prices were $2.10. Everybody was happy. They were happy with their prices at the market. They were happy with everything. But now...
No!
1 year later...
Chris lives in an alternate universe where everything from 2015 to 2020 didn't happen.
Later, not even, we got this total disaster in such a short period of time. Your cities are a mess. A disaster. Okay? It stinks in New York City. I wouldn't even go down there right now. All right? Not even only because of the threatening of my life at this point, that you can't even get onto a subway without someone pushing you into it. Although I haven't heard many stories about that, so that might have been fear porn too. But who knows? You know, who knows? So you have to understand that everything has been created and you're on a stage. And when people tell you you're on a stage, you're watching everything. They're not staging you, but you're on a stage watching everything. Okay, and that's what that definition.
That's not how stages work. That's not how plays work.
Means.
Your metaphor is broken down, Chris. If I'm on stage, I'm not watching the play, I'm in the play.
And that's what all of this is about. I mean, the minute they figured out that the Earth was flat, they had to do something. They had to control everybody. All right, and they're doing it at such a fast pace now. People are just getting so confused. They don't even know what their gender is at this point, let alone, it's just unbelievable. They are being turned against each other because of the color they are. Okay, I just saw a new shop here open up in my village.
El Dronder says, it was fine. I had to keep my friend alive with a car battery in the longest power outage in American history for 3 months, CC. It wasn't fine.
And now the mannequins are no longer white or silver or black. Now they're colored red. That's what all the mannequins are. I mean, it's just gotten...
What the fuck is he talking about? Does he think there's a conspiracy involving store mannequins?
So bad with this woke culture. You know, we're awake.
What is he even fucking talking about?
We're awake to the fact that we know that the Earth is flat. We're awake to the fact that we know all the politicians are nothing but liars and are nothing but career politicians. And they...
Wow, calling politicians corrupt. I think Chris might be the first human being in the history of civilization to make the stunning and original observation that politicians are in fact often corrupt and working towards their own self-interest. What a stunning revelation, Chris.
They spend all of their lives in that office when they have absolutely no talent at all whatsoever to do anything else, because none of them have ever held a civilian job. And if they have, it's been for like 8 months. And then they went right into politics.
Chris, maybe you should recognize that the system that allows this to happen is the kind of system that enriches the wealthy and keeps people constructively impoverished in order to create a ruling class that basically de facto gets everything where everyone else gets fucked. Occult Comic says, CC has caught onto my gender ray. I'm using the store mannequins to charge it. I can trans anyone's gender at 50 yards. Fastest draw in the West, too. The only one quicker than I am with the gender ray is the Transpalooza Kid. Good shit.
Just like the Hollyweird people. They have no fucking talent. They've been sold out. Just like all the sports. It's all bullshit. It's there to confuse you. It's there to divide you. All right? And that's how it's been. What do you think? What do you think that for 500 years you've been told you live on a spinning wet ball? You know, they're going to change everything? And then all of a sudden one day everything's going to be rah-rah and it's going to be, around a big fire talking about the truth? No, they're not going to do it. They're going to hold on to it as long as they can. And they have to do it. Else everything would fall apart here. These regular people who are wearing these fucking face masks that have no fucking clue how dangerous it is outside because they're wearing their face masks and it's important for them to wear their face masks.
It's not dangerous to wear a face mask. Like, it's genuinely, at worst, neutral. But generally it's going to keep you from spreading germs and potentially getting particulates in your face, so it's fine. It's a good thing. Especially when there's a pandemic, or any sort of endemic disease that you're worried about catching or spreading. Chromatic Cuttlefish says CC is confused by sports. That tracks. Discordant Vole says, man, Holden Caulfield grew up weird.
After all of...
It's all these goddamn phonies.
This time. Okay? But it's...
Chris just wants to impress Jodie Foster, okay?
It's important for them to wear it. You think that person's going to wake up one day and say, "Oh, you know what? We're not revolving. Everything is a lie. Everything is bullshit. Everything is nonsense. Every single thing we've learned in textbooks is garbage."
Not true.
All of our history.
The taste map is bullshit, though.
History has been lost.
Of
Hell, you don't even know where half these buildings are built from, for crying out loud. You've never seen any schematics on when they were built? You haven't even seen any schematics on when the ISS was built. It just appeared out of nowhere.
It didn't appear out of nowhere. They built it. Princess Amelia says, but Hannah, you need oxygen to breathe, and masks stop you from breathing. That's why nobody ever has been able to wear one for more than 10 minutes.
Oh, this historic spaceship, this capsule that's up in space, that's going around the atmosphere.
Christopher Johnson in the chat. Are you doing okay? Doesn't seem like you're doing okay.
Never seen one single iota of any proof of it being built. Just appeared there.
I've seen it circling the Earth, like from the ground. You can see it sometimes if it's over you at night.
There, but yet they put all the.
You saw components of the ISS being built at MSC. Well, apparently you're part of the conspiracy.
Electronic outlets and all the wiring outside, and that's a good thing, because in a submarine they don't do that. They put everything inside. So they don't have to go outside with, a swimming apparatus. They go fix everything. Everything's inside. That's well built. But yet, up there in space, it doesn't matter if all the wires are outside of your vehicle. Who would care? Because you can always go out and do a spacewalk. There's never been any test on the Apollo 11 capsule up on the moon. Never one test down here on Earth.
What?
They just decided to just fuck it. We'll put this rinky-dink thing together and we're just going to land on the moon. Why?
Did you want them to somehow create low-gravity conditions on Earth that's impossible for the purposes you're discussing? Now, they can do microgravity simulations for astronauts for spacewalks and, big pools and stuff. But that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about the lunar lander, which works on the moon because it has low gravity.
Test it. Why test the exact model? Because all the other models that they did test were failures. 7 out of 10 of them failed. But we're just going to make a new model, never test it down on Earth, and we're just going to fly it up into space and land on the moon with not a single test at all. Why risk the astronauts? Wouldn't you be concerned if you were an astronaut? Wouldn't you say to yourself, okay, for example, a pilot who's been jabbed. That's another thing, too. Are you going to now... Okay, I don't want to... I hate to divert... subject. But are you now going to trust a pilot who has the jibby jab?
Yes. I'm also vaccinated and boosted. I would imagine virtually every airline pilot in the commercial space has been too. I imagine that's a requirement.
Because at any moment there could be something that might happen to them.
Not really. No. The vaccines came out a long fucking time ago now. We're all good, Chris.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. I think everything is safe with that. But so you're an astronaut. You've gone through all of this college, all this schooling, all this money. You're in the military. You've got a family, and you're going to trust a vehicle that's never been tested here on Earth. But yet you're just going to say, hey, let's just fucking wing it.
I don't know anything about the claims about the lunar lander being tested, but again, any tests they do on Earth are going to be different than tests in space, because in space there's microgravity and on the moon there's low gravity, so it's not going to be a one-to-one test. They definitely tested stuff for the lunar lander and then used those tests and calculations to determine what would be safest with their time and budgetary constraints at the time. Aries Corinthair says everyone knows the moon landing was fake, but since it was filmed by Stanley Kubrick, he insisted on filming on location and forced NASA to actually take him to the moon. Chromatic Cuttlefish says Apollo 9 tests the lunar module in Earth orbit. Look at that! He's talking about the lander specifically, though, I think. Because he doesn't understand you can't test a low-gravity landing when you don't have low gravity on Earth.
I don't think so. A scuba diver would never, ever go into the water with not knowing how much...
Scuba divers didn't go to the moon.
Air is in...
Astronauts
in his tank. Without testing any of the devices. And that's just in water. 30 feet down. So that should wake people up in some point. But if they don't wake up, and they want to live this spinning wet ball dream, that's fine. Okay? Perfectly fine. If they think all these politicians, having created this disaster that you're in, and that it's been created from some magical fucking war that doesn't exist.
Oh, he doesn't think the war in Ukraine is real. Like, he straight up doesn't think it's happening. For the record. He's fucking crazy.
That's fine. Okay? If you think that every single thing out there is true, that the media pulls out on their show, that's fine. But if you can't wake up to flat Earth, and you can't figure out that you're not spinning on a fucking spinning on a wet ball, then you just lost. I mean, you're lost. Okay? And just enjoy yourself. Just enjoy yourself, okay? Troll all the people you want. Do whatever you want, because that's like Loserville. I never, before I even got into the social network, and that's my channel, that's the only social network that I have, and I'm interacting, with comments and stuff like that, people I like, friends of mine that I've spoken to on the phone. I never gave a shit about any of this, and I would never go onto anybody's channel and put bullshit nonsense on it. But continuously, though. But not only my channel, but other fucking channels. That's the pathetic thing about it, is not only are the people that I see that are on my channel, they're also going after people that I know on their channel, too. So it's like, where the fuck do they have the time to do this? I don't even have time to put fucking videos out, let alone put comments on somebody else's fucking channel. Yeah, once in a while I will. Of course I will. I'll show you my love, guys. I always do. But I mean, really. That's how much of a joke these trolls are. That's all they do. They're not people that have jobs like you and me. This is their job. That's what they do. Unfortunately,
Chris believes people that make fun of him are literally hired shills by NASA because he thinks he's such a threat to the ground Earth narrative or whatever, that he thinks NASA sends trolls to make fun of him. Presumably, if Chris has ever seen my videos, he probably thinks I've also been paid by NASA, which I wish. Pay me, NASA.
Some people get really annoyed with it, and people back down. Real people back down because of these people. And that's what they want them to do. So don't buy into the nonsense. Okay? Because once again, whether you're a new channel or an old channel, don't buy into the nonsense. And if you're just getting into flat Earth, then you're going to need to know a lot of things, because it's very difficult to find on YouTube right now. I'll put a couple links below, and maybe you can go through some 101 flat Earth and go from there, and check it out. All right, thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.
God. Chris's life feels like it's probably pretty exhausting. Just paranoid about everything constantly. Sucks.
I'm Dave Reaver. For the next hour, we're going to be presenting to you on video some of the most bizarre and unbelievable things that we have ever presented through television efforts.
I believe the thing about it being unbelievable.
In my lifetime, I've known some war, and in my lifetime, I have seen some of the bizarre. I've known suffering, but I've never known of the bizarre. I've never known of suffering like you're going to hear about in this video. And I certainly promise you this, it is war. I also think you should know that we accept responsibility for saying up front that what you're going to see and hear is terrifying. I do not want to be responsible for allowing children in the room who are not prepared for this. Parents, please pay careful attention and do as I ask. Please don't allow children to watch this video alone. Today, we are compelled to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us God.
You know what, actually, I don't know if we can... Was this the one that I had to stop watching at some point because it showed something graphic? Hold on. Relatively graphic. The satanic panic stuff is so iffy. Exposing the satanic
I've been
web.
out now for 14 years.
Oh my god, it's one of the grifters! Especially in the 80s, there were so many grifters who went to, like, Christian churches and stuff and be like, yeah, I used to be a high priest of Satan. You want me to come to your church? I'll promote my new book. And there are people who were never had anything to do with any sort of, like, quote-unquote satanic organizations. They were just outright fucking liars.
I've only been able to laugh, and this is a serious statement. I've only been able to laugh out loud for about 10 years now.
As people remember these experiences, they gag, they are nauseous, their entire body remembers what it was like to be there, to see this, to participate in this, to have this done to them.
It's not a game. They really believe this. They believe Satan is on their side, and they will hurt you.
The rituals that we went through are horrendous, are horrifying to anyone on the outside that even dares dream that something like this could take place.
No offense, but I'm skipping through the bad song. Briar Rose 1984, thanks for 19 months as starting work on a third sub, baby. Damn, I am prolific.
Rapidly today, especially among young people. We see the graffiti symbols everywhere, the evil influences bearing down on teenagers, in the music, and in their lifestyles. The dimensions of this phenomenon have become alarming.
Christopher Johnson, fuck off.
In this metroplex, it's my estimate that there's approximately 40,000 practicing Satanists in the metroplex. That does not include pagan organizations, druids, Wiccans, which are of the right-hand path of witchcraft, not the left-hand path. Dabbling in the occult and its various aspects in this metroplex would have to be over 100,000 individuals.
He believes that in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there were 40,000 Satanists in the 1980s. These people are so full of shit.
Now that's a conservative estimate.
It's not going on in the schools to hear them tell, they're wearing blinders. It's hard to get them to realize it's going on.
Oh my god, cops are such dumb pieces of shit. I swear to God, did cops help manufacture, like, the satanic panic in order to cover for their own incompetence? That way they can't just be like, we can't solve this murder. They could be like, oh, it was spooky Satanists.
The teachers are more cooperative because they will call. If they find notes or they hear something going on, they will call us.
The police are calling the cops because some kid's drawing a fucking Metallica thing? What the fuck is wrong with this country?
Our department is getting more involved in the last 8 or 9 months because we've been getting calls from people that said, we didn't know who to report these things to.
Well, this child was expressing themselves and we can't have that. Better call the fucking police. Oh my god.
There was like 7 or 8 large dogs, Dobermans, Shepherds, that had been killed and hung in a circle, their heads cut, blood drained. And the guy said, well, that happened 6 months ago, but we didn't know who to report it to.
85% of the teenagers in high school in Western Europe have been exposed to hardcore.
Am I familiar with the West Memphis 3? I'm not. KBS666 says, yes, they did help create the panic. The woman behind Bothered About D&D did trainings on Satanism for police forces. Yikes.
Or Satanism.
Christopher Johnson, not a Satanist. Don't believe in Satan.
That's an unbelievable figure. Here in America, I do not believe those figures are that high, but I would venture to say that 40% of the kids.
40% of children in the United States, he thinks, has been, and 85% of European kids exposed to hardcore Satanism. Holy fuck, ACAB.
Most teens involved in Satanism are dabblers. They wear the clothes, try a few rituals, and listen to the heavy metal band.
Was that a person with an anti-Nazi shirt, and they're saying the person with the anti-Nazi shirt is a Satanist?
Most teens involved in Satanism are dabblers. They wear the clothes, try...
Dead Kennedys, something Nazi powers, and it's got a no Nazi sign. Oh no, he's a Satanist.
Rituals and listen to the heavy metal bands. But
is that fucking Dio?
Of these, the self-styled Satanists can be the most dangerous because they never join a cult. They are
a minute left to start a hype train.
And volatile. Sean Sellers murdered a store clerk for a thrill, then his own parents. Richard Ramirez, convicted as the Night Stalker killer, worked alone in the name of Satan.
No, he's just a fucking serial killer. Satan isn't real, you idiots.
It took the jury 22 days to find Richard Ramirez guilty of all 13 murders and 30 related felonies he was charged with. Ramirez.
Chibbers, the squirrel with 100 bits, says, you should genuinely look into the West Memphis 3 when you get the chance. It's the most tragic story of satanic panic. 3 teens were imprisoned for murder they didn't commit because they were metalheads. Yikes. Hype train, 44% to level 1. It's an ideal day for gift subs.
Declined to be present for the verdict. Thus ended the year-long trial of the Texas drifter accused of being the Night Stalker, the serial killer who once terrorized Southern California. All but one of the brutal murders took place in the summer of '85. The killer was dubbed the Night Stalker because he broke into his victims' homes and attacked them while they slept, shooting, stabbing, beating them to death. In some cases, wives were raped after their husbands had been murdered. Victims were robbed, survivors...
I accept your proposal, Baha. First name bunch of numbers with 50 bits says, well, now we know why he thinks 85% of Europeans have been exposed to, quote, hardcore Satanism since they teach anti-Nazi stuff in school there.
To swear to Satan, and sometimes pentagrams, symbols of devil worship, were left behind, scrawled on...
Alt Fact, thanks for gifting a tier 1 sub.
Walls or bodies. Fear spread throughout Southern California as the death toll reached 13.
I'm very upset. It's frightening and I'm scared.
Everybody is real edgy.
We have diligently tried to lock all the doors and windows.
KBS666 says, also look into the McMartin preschool hysteria. I've heard about that one. The whole thing was so outrageous it's hard to even believe it happened. Mr. Whiskers says, hail Satan, not Hitler. 88% to level 1. That's an unfortunate percentage. Someone do something so it's not 88% anymore.
A hunt was launched for the man in the police sketch, and Richard Ramirez was finally captured by an angry mob in an East Los Angeles Hispanic neighborhood.
Hail Satan.
In court, Ramirez was defiant. A guard said...
How many languages do I speak? 2. English, and the true language of love, that is, the accordion. Tucci, thanks for 100 bits. 94% to level 1.
Ramirez posted pictures of a victim in his jail cell, declaring, there is blood behind the Night Stalker. Defense attorneys said Ramirez was a victim of mistaken identity, but witnesses and fingerprints tied him to the murders and ultimately sealed his conviction. Now the court will decide the fate of Ramirez, whether he's sentenced to death or life in prison.
The man known as the Night Stalker has been sentenced to death in California. Richard Ramirez was convicted of killing more than a dozen people in 1985. Ramirez got his nickname because he often entered victims' homes at night, murdering people as they slept. In court
Hydrate.
today, Ramirez read
I gotta go grab
twisted
water
and
for the
rambling
hydrate.
statement.
Keep the hype train going, 94% level 1.
You are not capable of it. I am beyond your experience. I am beyond good and evil. Legions of the night, 90 degrees. Repeat not the errors of Night Father and show no mercy. I will be avenged. Lucifer dwells within us all. That's it.
Today's sentence means Ramirez could die in the gas chamber for his crimes, but it carries an automatic appeal.
Self-styled Satanists are volatile and frightening. But what of those who join organized cults and become what is called traditional Satanists? Teenagers recruited into these cults.
Chromatic Cuttlefish with 100 bits says, used to work for the School of Psychology at the local uni, and they legit have nightmares about the whole satanic panic recovered memory BS. Discordant Vol with 100 bits says he got caught because he adjusted the mirror in his car he stole and abandoned. And Lily Love Stuff says, Hannah, when will we get the recreation, you recreating this scene? What is this from? Is this something I'm gonna get in trouble for showing? No, okay. The fuck is this? 8% to level 2. He probably said that stuff as an FU after he noticed that that's the stuff he wanted him to say. Oh yeah, either the Night Stalker was fucking crazy, possible. The murders kind of lend to that speculation. Or he was genuinely trying to freak people out because he's a douchebag who murdered people and obviously got off on being a sadist. So he also might have just been intentionally like, oh, people are into this stupid satanic panic stuff. Fuck it, I'll freak him out. I'll say a bunch of dumb satanic-y sounding stuff. He was actually crazy? That's good. I mean, it's not good, but it makes sense. That's fucking rad. Alright, where did it go? It's in here somewhere.
Are told of the thrills and untapped power they can achieve through Satan, and they are promised drugs and sex. But do they know what really awaits them in the end?
I'll have you know, I've had both drugs and sex. Didn't have to join Satanism. You can just, like, get those things consensually. 8% to level 2 with 2 minutes left.
If they get involved with this, they don't get out because they've taken part in so many criminal offenses that they can't just get up and walk away from it. They're trapped by their actions and they're blackmailed into staying in. Another thing is that there's a good deal of power.
It's an addiction. It's an addiction to evil. We all understand. Let's take it to the practical. For the public schools teachers and counselors that are watching, they understand addiction. They understand how an addiction will move from marijuana to cocaine. In my own family, we watched an addiction in my second son move from marijuana into a $700 a day cocaine habit that nearly killed him. He was putting
$700 a day for cocaine? My God, just getting to crack already. Lily Love Stuff says, I mean, Alex Jones used to be a Satanist with a ton of girlfriends, but he walked away to spread God instead. Is that a thing he tells people? Discordant Vol says, they always look like thumbs. 16% to level 2 with a minute left.
IV cocaine in his arm every 15 minutes during the day. And he didn't just start that way. And these people are into an addiction as well. They start by reading the Satanic Bible. They start by little candle magic. They start by the Ouija board and getting in touch with the spirit.
50 cents. Oh, there we go. Bittergrin gives 5 tier 1 subs and gets us over level 2.
Power.
There are no motion pictures that have come out that truly show what happens. They don't show the terror
Because it's not a real thing. You're making it up, you fucking grifter loser.
That is in the priest's eyes and in his mind. They don't show that same terror in the high priestess, nor in the participants. The power
Christopher Johnson, I literally answered you. It's not my fault you're not fucking listening.
derived there. I met with a witch the other day, a high priest of the Wiccan craft, of the craft. And he found out who I had been. And he said, that's a problem I've got right now. He said, I don't have the power to go against
I love you too, Bob.
people like who you were. He said, Lord, he said, you people could light bonfires and never walk up to it.
Credit Cuttlefish says the city contains 1 million true stories. This one, we made up.
And I said, that's right. And he said, you could kill me with a thought. And I said, no, with a word.
Is that right? I mean,
yeah. That's the power that someone who has mastered, who has become an adept in the craft. And
He believes that powered word kill is a real thing? Fucking yikes.
Not about a traditional Satanist, not a non-traditional idiot that is playing at this, but somebody that has made this their life's craft.
Recently, Dave interviewed Dr. Bob Sloan, a psychologist who's dealing extensively with people trying to escape the terrible after effects of satanic involvement.
Each sequence is drawn by a specific person, and I think the pictures illustrate the kinds of things we're talking about. The pictures are also drawn by the patient as they try to remember and try to recall what's happened. So drawing becomes a very important part of getting out and being able to firm up the puzzle that they're trying to put together. So they draw these pictures as a part of their recovery. As you can see here, there are certain steps that are followed. It's not a random kind of thing that they carry out on a whim. There's specific steps that they follow in preparing a small child to be initiated into the cult. They have to do this in this case because the child has been chosen. Oftentimes a baby is chosen for some reason to be the next leader of the clan. In this case, there was a boy who was chosen, and his mother, who herself was a child who was chosen when she was a baby, who is now grown up, now she's an adult, she has a son, she's preparing him. As you can see, the elements he's considered special, and it's the combination, the introduction of pleasure and pain. Here you can see that she is introducing pleasure at the same time. While she's doing that, she's putting things, objects, maybe a pencil, maybe a heated nail, or some other object that would create pain in him at the same time. As these memories, as this awareness comes to her, she is in torment.
Looks like she's tried to rub it out.
Yes. There's a part of her that said, I don't want to say this, I don't want to admit it. There's another part of her that says, yes, it's the truth, I have done it. How could I? I'm so bad, I'm so evil.
My night of baptism and initiation, I was initiated by fire, both physically and spiritual fire. And the spiritual fire is, they summoned a demon forth, and it entered my body and set me on fire from the inside.
Don't know if you guys know this. Demons aren't real. They're a made-up thing. Don't have to worry about them. Okie Dad says, can confirm the 80s weren't nearly as fun as they're making it out deceived.
No discipline and the power of the coven. And
54% to level 3 with a little under a minute left.
To other people. There are horrors.
Uncle Gumbald says, Demon Mama, always corrupting the youth, shake my head.
If you will, imagine the young man that was taken off the streets of Matamoros. He would have been mutilated slowly, that his life force not leave him quickly, but slowly, as to increase the frenzy of the sorcerer committing the act.
Metal Turtle with 200 bits says hi. Thank you. 66% to level 3.
So the greater
the band
pain,
person started whispering you. That's funny.
The suffering, the greater cries.
Thanks to level 2 hype train, everyone.
The greater the power derived from his life force leaving his body.
I gotta see if they whispered
That's the
me.
belief.
No. Sad face.
Some of Dr. Sloan's patients also speak
so much investigative malpractice.
of the terrors of Satanism. These pictures were drawn by adults remembering things they had long ago repressed.
Again, this is where, if you've ever taken a Psych 101 class, when they're talking about manufactured fake memories, this is what they're talking about.
Things done to them as children when they had been forced to take part in cult
rituals. There he is!
The following is but one example of a satanic sacrifice.
This is a typical...
It's disgusting!
kind of ritual, which involves the kidnapping of children. And in this case, you can see this ritual ceremony took place in a barn. Here are the bales of hay. It's an old barn. And in this case, you can see the cauldron, the boiling cauldron, the altar, the gold knives, all the elements are here, the robed members of the cult. In this case, the victim is a child, 4 or 5 years old, and the cult victim who drew this picture was still a child. And the sacrificial victims were, in this case, 2, a brother and a sister who had been kidnapped, and they had been seduced. And at this point, she reports that they weren't really scared. They'd probably been taken off of a playground somewhere and said, we're going to go have a birthday party or something.
1 sec, I gotta message him back. This is fucking funny.
Ages, about 7 and 5. You can see the cult leader here. These children are tied onto the altar. And there's also the beginning of bloodletting. So they've cut the boy some. He's starting to cry and she's crying because they realize now what's happening, of course, and there's screaming. It starts to happen. The member of the cult, the child member of the cult, of course, is watching. She's very scared. She's reporting and she's remembering that they made her do this and how bad she...
TubeMan says, wait, Hannah, what do you mean demons aren't real? Are you telling me I can't summon the succubus Morrigan Ansland from the Darkstalkers to play Destiny with me and tell me everything will be alright? Unfortunately, no.
She feels about it, but she can't help it. She's 4. These are adults. She's a victim in this process. As this ritual proceeds, you can see that there begins to be a lot of blood. You can see that the boy here is then cut open, again, along his chest, ripped apart, his organs taken out, and then he's dismembered. You can also notice that the little girl has lots of little cuts, and she's bleeding pretty profusely here from her groin area. So there's beginning to be a lot of screaming, a lot of blood, dismemberment, and preparation for the cannibalism. You can also pick up in this drawing the worship nature of this. Right. This is not just an event.
Well,
this is
he's sexually harassing me now, so I'm gonna go ahead and block him. Give me a sec. I can handle people trying to do terrible jokes. Don't say gross shit to me. I don't want to screenshot it! Okay, I'll take a screenshot for Baja. Alright. Let me block him real quick and then I'm done. There we go. Back at it.
A worship service that builds to a frenzy, builds up to a peak.
He probably wants you to share it to encourage his public humiliation fetish. It's possible.
And this, of course, is, as this person wrote here,
if you want to be publicly humiliated, pay a sex worker like a normal person. Or get a partner who's into that shit. I'm not going to facilitate your fetish on stream. At least probably not.
Human stew. Here,
unless it's accidental. I don't know if anyone has like very specific fetishes that I accidentally do. If so, there's nothing I can do about that. Gray Fox 2343, thanks for 26 months, says 26 months, woo.
The brother is dismembered. He's already gone. He's in the stew. And the child, member of the cult, then herself is brought up to participate more. The adult leader is cutting the little girl and killing her ultimately as the child member inserts other objects into the little girl. The element that's not really seen here but written in is the sexual abuse that always precedes the bloodletting. The members of the cult...
Alright, I'm done with the guy lying about his past for money. So let's do a cleanse and then we'll call it a night. What sounds like a good cleanse? Sausage guy? Chicken boiled in honey.
Today we're gonna make real honey chicken by boiling chicken in honey.
Lily Lovestuff says, no, for real, I had to stop talking down men on Twitter because I'm not humiliating people without getting paid. The amount of fetish content I used to just give away, I shudder at the money I lost.
Give it the old squirt. That's taking a bit too long. We don't have that kind of time. Man, that's heavy.
I like honey, but like a little dabble, do ya?
We'll do
this much honey makes me uncomfortable.
Little seasoning
Too
of
sticky.
Salt. I've never really boiled chicken in honey before. This is starting to look like the stuff from Ghostbusters 2. So I'm gonna put this to bed now. There's our chicken. The honey keeps boiling over.
Baha, I sent you the screenshots. They're just not sending on my phone properly, so I'll send it on Twitter.
This looks pretty gosh darn evil. It's at a steady 228. God, this thing's plump. That's a plumper. Let's get this out for a taste test already. Look at that beautiful piece of chicken. All right, let's see if it's even remotely done. Not even close.
He can't even
Maybe
eat
we'll
it.
Try an end that's,
This is a bad idea. Don't eat this,
that
man.
looks like it won't kill me. It just
Granite Cuttlefish says, God, boiling honey sounds like a trip to casualty in the making.
slightly tastes like honey. What if we cube this chicken up into more bite-sized pieces? Now it's time to try out our honey chicken bites. All right, well, first things first. Is it done? All signs point to yes. In bite form, it works a lot better. You can taste a lot more of the honey than when it's, a fully intact chicken breast. But should you buy an entire bottle of honey just to boil chicken in it? That's probably not the best way to spend your money. You're better off just covering your chicken in honey.
If I had Wendy's honey chicken biscuit, nah, it's probably good. I would imagine. I like Wendy's a lot, but if I go to Wendy's, I either get their burger or their nuggets. They're really good. But if I'm ever there and just feeling it, maybe I'll try it next time. I don't get fast food super often anymore. I try and do like once a month or on special occasions if I get restaurant food. So.
And baking it. Theoretically, yes, you can boil your chicken in honey, but should you? No! No!
Good answer. Alright, who we rating?
Well, hey there, folks, and welcome back.
Welcome back, I guess. Alrighty, who raid? $27 raided the other day, so maybe raid back would be good praxis. Alright. I hope everyone has a good night. I will be back tomorrow for another fun stream. I don't know what we're going to be doing, but it'll be good, and hopefully it'll be a little less warm and humid, so my hair will look not this. Have a good night, everyone. You're all wonderful. Have a good night, Mr. Blast, Broha Blast. Thanks, Mr. Whiskers. You rock too. I'm gonna go do some voice training and eat dinner. Probably mac and cheese. See you tomorrow.